Eyewitness News at 5, your hometown team.
Come on now, right now.
What if on January 27th, 1991 in Tampa, Florida in Super Bowl 25? What if?
Here we go. The Super Bowl will ride on the right foot of Norwood. Waiting for the snap. Right. Arm extended. Puts it down. On the way. It's long enough. It is good. And the Bills have won it. The Bills have won it. The Bills have won it.
Unfortunately for the Bills, as history tells us, Norwood's kick missed wide right, and the Giants won their second Super Bowl for Bill Parcells. And so tonight from Rich Stadium in Western New York, it's a rematch of the 25th anniversary of the Super Bowl as the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants meet for the first time since that '91 contest called a game for the ages. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender along with Pat Hayden. And Pat, since Norwood missed that kick, the Bills have returned to the Super Bowl 2 times and lost by a total of 48 points. Now, what if he had made that kick, how would it have affected these two teams?
You know, Gary, speculation can be frivolous, but you do wonder, you know, if that kick is 3 feet to the left, maybe Bill Parcells is still coach of the Giants looking for that second Super Bowl win. If that kick is 3 feet to the left, maybe Ted Marchibroda is now coach of the Bills because Marv Levy retires after that championship season. And if that kick is 3 feet to the left, Jim Kelly becomes the first Super Bowl winner from the class of 1983 when all those great quarterbacks were drafted. But most importantly, I think if that kick were 3 feet to the left, that terrible albatross of 3 straight losses in the Super Bowl is away from the Bills, and that feeling of a gut check every time they play an NFC team is gone.
All right, let's come to tonight. The Bills' offense has stalled. They've scored only 13 points in each of the last 2 games. So they're trying to jumpstart the offense. They're going to let Jim Kelly call his own plays.
What Marv Levy told us yesterday, we were awful against the Dolphins on offense last week, and to try to get this team back in sync and into rhythm, they're going to let Jim Kelly call the plays again. Now, he's done this before, but the thing he said to us yesterday, Gary, was, hey, when I'm calling the plays, I call the plays that I know that I can execute, that I feel comfortable.
Well, his pass protection is not very good. He's been sacked 8 times, but it could be helped tonight because All-Pro center Kent Hall will start.
Well, he'll get the first start since last year's Super Bowl, and when Kent Hall is in the game, this is a better team. Now, they've had trouble protecting Kelly, certainly last week against the Dolphins, but he calls all the pass protections, and because of that, they think they're going to pass protect for Kelly much better tonight.
Well, the Giants' offensive line has done a very good job in the running game. The last 2 games, Rodney Hampton has rushed for 134 yards.
You know, this is very much a game of tempo. The Bills are trying to speed it up. The Giants are methodical. And when you have a runner like Rodney Hampton, you can afford to be so, averaging over 30 carries a game. This is a guy that can give you the 2 tough yards, can go the distance, but for the Giants, he is clearly the key tonight. They want to get another 130 yards out of Rodney Hampton tonight.
Dan Reeves was the head coach of the Denver Broncos for 12 years. They went to 3 Super Bowls, and yet he was fired. So he's come to the Big Apple with something to prove, and after a 3-0 start, he's gotten rave reviews.
Well, it looks like a pretty good match, doesn't it, after a 3-0 start. Dan Reeves is a guy that brings some of the discipline that Bill Parcells had when he was here with the Giants. And the thing about Dan Reeves, too, is it does not take him long to make up his mind. He chose Phil Simms as his starting quarterback early after being named the head coach. It's been the right decision, and tonight he said the key is no turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over, we're tough to beat.
When you come to Orchard Park, you never know what you're going to get weather-wise. Temperature at kickoff time, 58 degrees, but look at the variance in the wind, anywhere from 25 to 40 miles per hour. And just moments ago, Marv Levy, looking like a golfer out in the middle of the fairway, tries to figure out where the wind is blowing.
You know, it tells you about the nature of the game, though. It's going to be a game that punters and snappers and holders, I mean, it's going to be a tough game for all those guys because of the wind.
And DeLuiso to kick off to Russell Copeland, the rookie. As the Bills won the toss, he elected to receive. Going to be Kenneth Davis, and he hesitated momentarily, indecisive, and he's going to be buried inside the 10-yard line. Some confusion there. And so Jim Kelly will come on, calling his own plays, as Pat and I were talking about. He gave it up 6 games into last season, and last week he threw 2 interceptions and lost to Miami. He's so tough, Pat. He's a linebacker in a quarterback's uniform.
Yeah, if you weighed 270, he would play linebacker, but Gary, setting this game up, it's a game of pace, it's a game of tempo. They're running this hurry up, which is a lot different than the no huddle. They want to call as many plays as they possibly can and get one base defense.
From the 7, Kelly will start the ball game. That's it far side, Thurman Thomas, and he'll be dropped at the 12. Perry Williams over there to make the stop. Let's look now at this Bills offense that's really been stalled. Thomas last week had only 42 yards rushing. Reed had a shoulder problem. Hall, we mentioned he's starting for the first time this year. And here they go without the huddle. 2nd down and 5. To the 15 goes Thomas. And the big blue defense of New York, number 1 in the NFL. Dan Reeves has really tailored this to change up front with young guys. And, of course, LT is still LT at that outside linebacking spot. Collins playing as well as anybody's playing at the cornerback spot. 3rd down and 4. Kelly over the middle, and that will bring up a punting situation. Andre Reed, the intended receiver, and Chris Moore will come in and punt, and the Bills didn't want to go 3 and out to start this football game. Marv Levy, the dean of all the coaches at 65 years of age, and he's trying to avoid the first back-to-back losses at home since 1986. Moore, who really reads the winds well here in Rich Stadium. Hits it very well. Dave Meggett goes back inside the 35. To the 45, and good field position for the Giants. 52-yard punt. There is a penalty flag. A 14-yard return by Meggett. Gordon McCarter, the referee, as Sims gets ready to come into this game. Phil Sims, the number 2 rated quarterback in the NFC. He's completing 66% of his passes. He's thrown only 1 interception. Tremendous leadership and toughness he brings to this Giants team, as we're now having this stepped off.
Number 51 receiving team during the return. 10 yards, first down.
And so the Giants won't have the field position they thought they're going to have, as Andre Powell was guilty of the illegal block. But Sims is 37 years old. He'll be 38 a month from today. And one thing he doesn't allow is the elements to bother him in a game.
Well, he's always been a very good bad weather quarterback. And, Gary, when you think about the Giants, when you find good offensive linemen, you generally find a good offensive team. And this offensive line for the Giants has played exceptionally well this year.
After the penalty, they'll start for the 32. Sims with time. Mark Jackson can't hang on. He was at the 41. The former Denver Bronco drops it. Let's look now at this Giant offense. Jackson, one of the wideouts, along with Mike Sherrard, the 2 guys they picked up for a total of $9 million in the free agency. Kenyon Rashid is playing for the first time because Jared Bunch is out. He has pneumonia and did not answer the call tonight. And up front, this offensive line has been blocking very well for Rodney Hampton. 2nd and 10. Dave Meggett trying to run wide behind Kratz, and the Bills are there. Very good reaction that time, as he could not get turned up the field. Henry Jones, who went to the Pro Bowl last year, who plays kind of like a robber. He'll come up on that line of scrimmage, made the tackle. Defensively, Oliver Barnett is replacing Phil Hansen, who's out with a foot injury. Bennett, Patton, and Maddox tally the linebackers. Patton and Maddox, the new inside linebackers. Williams and Odoms, along with Jones and Kelso, back in the secondary. Jones and Odoms went to their first Pro Bowls last year. Loss of 7, 3rd and 17. Being flushed out is Sims. He spots Mark Jackson, and Jackson has a ball jarred loose. It's been ruled a catch and a fumble. Nope, they're going to say it was incomplete. He's been waved off as an incomplete pass at the 47-yard line of Buffalo.
Well, Gary, I thought one of the officials said that was a completed pass, and it looked like a fumble. Take another look. I'll tell you, 3 and out, 2 for the Giants, and they've been very good in their opening series this year, but it was a third and very long thrown across the ball to Jackson.
Well, they're debating right now, Pat.
I think that's a catch. That looked like a catch and a fumble and a recovery by, I think, Talley.
The debate's still going on. It's either the Bills football or the Giants are punting on 4th down. Mickey Washington is the guy who pounced on the ball for Buffalo. Marv Levy, who won his 100th game 3 weeks ago. And they're not sure yet who has the football. The back judge is the guy that came up late and ruled it was incomplete.
Illegal forward pass thrown from beyond the line of scrimmage. Number 11 offense. The pass was completed, fumbled, and recovered by the defense. The penalty is declined. First down.
That's the right call, Gary. That was a completed pass.
And so the Bills will have the football.
And what we said, Dan Reeves said, we can't turn the ball over. If we don't turn the ball over, we have a very good chance of winning. There's the catch. Possession. And then Odoms knocks it loose. No, they've only had 4 turnovers all year, the Giants. Now, you know, watch Sims go across the line. Ball snapped on about the 25-yard line. About the 25-yard line where that ball was snapped. Crosses it there. I don't think there's any real debate whether that was a catch.
The pass that was thrown from beyond the line of scrimmage is an incomplete pass when it is completed by the offensive team. Therefore, that ball is dead by rule upon being caught. The penalty for the illegal forward pass carries 5 yards and loss of down from the spot of the pass. We will enforce the penalty. It is still 4th down.
An incompleted pass that was complete. Or a completed pass that was incomplete. I know
there's nobody in the Senate that had a longer filibuster than this guy, Gordon McCarter, right now. That was something. Well, you talk about on camera time.
Yeah, I tell you, we're going to do the opening. But he got it right, I guess.
So what it amounts to is the Giants are going to have to punt the football. So it's not the Bills' ball yet.
One of those oxymorons, a completed pass that was not complete.
Oh, Jerry Seaman, the supervisor of officials, where are you when we need you?
And an oxymoron, Gary, is not a dumb cow, in case you were wondering.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I tell you, you Rhodes Scholars are all alike. Anyway, Sean Landeta will come in to punt the football to Russell Copeland. You see, he leads the NFL in punt returns. Citing rookie out of Memphis State. What a way to start a game.
Yeah, the Bills won 3 and out.
Loss of down, 4th down.
Loss of down, so it is. But the Bills are going to get pretty good field position here, Gary.
Sean Landeta, who has come back from serious knee surgery, came back in 7 months. He's been punting the ball well inside the 10. Landeta gets into it very well. Copeland waiting at the Buffalo 31. And he's not going to get much further than 36. So really, the Giants come out much better. That ball would have been at the 45 after the fumble recovery. Instead, they get it at the Bills 36. 47-yard punt, 7-yard return, no score.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY or your travel agent for reservations. By Logo Athletic. Get real with authentic team apparel. And by Coca-Cola Classic, reminding you, always cool, always the real thing, always Coca-Cola.
120 years ago, when people wanted to send us a letter, all they had to do was write Coors, Golden, Colorado on the envelope. That'll still work today. So if you want to drop us a line about beer or baseball or whatever, it'll get here. Honest.
I was born
in a small town. That's where my customers are.
Every day, important business takes place in towns all across the country. And every day, we're a part of it. We're in hundreds of towns like Opelika, Walnut, Oak.
The Northwest Southeast is my territory.
Who would know better than Holiday Inn how to make your small town and big town meetings a big success?
It's warm. Welcome.
Just like the town I was born in.
Just like the town I was born in.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Offensive line of the Giants after that first series, trying to get it all mapped out. Pete Mangarian, the offensive line coach, as the Bills will have it at the 36-yard line. They'll have it for the second time.
The remarkable thing about the Giants, you see, as you saw Pete Mangarian and Dan Reeves now, Gary, it's a new staff, but the amazing thing I think about the Giants in their first 3 games is they have played very well together, and that is unusual when you have a new staff early in the year.
Going to their K-gun offense as 3 wideouts, a tight end, and this guy, Thurman Thomas. And Thomas straight ahead. Goes for 9 yards.
Gary, the Bills have a lot of weapons, but I believe it starts with Thurman Thomas. And if Thurman Thomas can get started early running the football and pick his hole like he did here, the Bills are awfully tough to stop. But when you don't get him started early, you have to
and they come back without the huddle, and Thurman Thomas repeats the previous play as he bursts this time for 15 yards, and he takes it just short of the 40-yard line.
Jim Kelly said to us yesterday, we throw to run the football. The purpose, of course, is to get Thurman Thomas the ball.
Boy, are they moving quickly, too. Kelly calling his own plays, Pat. They are up there and ready to go. First down from the 41. End around, reverse to Andre Reed. Reed inside the 40 and wrapped there. Carlton Bailey was over there, but pretty good play that time on the far side by Perry Williams, who stayed home and didn't let him get around the corner.
You know, the big difference for the Bills, this is not the no huddle. This is the hurry up. The hurry up offense. And the hurry up offense is trying to do one thing. Force the Giants to play a base defense that you can run your entire offense against.
Second down and 7. And a little mix-up there. Flags everywhere. Looked like Jim Richard, the left guard, may have fired off. The All-Pro. This offensive line of the Bills really been struggling.
False start before the snap, 51 offense.
They've made a change with Richard at the 1 guard, and now what they've done, they've got Hall back at center, and now John Davis is starting at right guard. By Thurman Thomas was the longest rush from the line of scrimmage for the Bills this year. Second down and 12 after the penalty. Kelly in trouble, getting rid of it, and trying to get it off to Don Beebe. And that's going to make up a 3rd down. Pretty good pressure that time up the middle. Stacy Dillard was one of those that came pouring up the middle, and a 3rd down coming up. 8 sacks thus far this line has given up. Kelly that time having no time to get rid of the ball. 3rd and 12. Kelly again, far side. Beebe's there. He's got it for the first down at the 21-yard line of New York. That'll be a 21-yard gain. That's the 98th catch of his career.
Ago, Jim Kelly didn't have a chance to get to his second receivers because of pass protection. But in this game, with the addition of Kent Hall, calling the pass protection, he's able to go to the second guy, that time Beebe.
Thurman Thomas, who has such good vision that time, bouncing to the 15-yard line. They talk about the fact that he sees the entire field and makes him such a good cutback runner. And that time, just short of the 15. It'll bring up a 2nd down, and the Bills are moving and moving quickly, as you can see. Second and a long 4. Thurman Thomas again, and Thomas to the 11-yard line, very close to the first down.
You know, you watch Thurman Thomas play, and he is a unique player. I think some people say somebody's a better runner, or this or that, but I think without a doubt he's the best all-around player because he's one of those old triple threats. I mean, clearly he can run. He's a terrific receiver, and he's a great blocker, Gary. And I'm not just talking about blocking defensive backs. I'm talking about blocking linebackers and defensive ends.
They're going to measure to see if this is a first down. And it is. First down at the 11.5-yard line.
And the reason the Bills are in rhythm and in sync right now is they have gotten Thurman Thomas involved early in the passing game and more particularly in the running game.
Kelly to Thomas. Thomas doesn't get much this time. They have gotten to the 10-yard line and slammed back. Remember now, this is the top-rated defense in the NFL. The last 2 games, the Giants have given up only 45 yards rushing.
And if you're going to score touchdowns in the NFL today with the way defenses are playing, you must be able to run the ball inside the 15-yard line or you're looking at field goals.
Second down, 10. Thomas inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. It'll be third down. Myron Guyton coming up from the safety spot to make the tackle. John Davis threw a very good block on this play as we look at the replay.
I'll tell you, though, if Myron Guyton, number 29, doesn't stay at home and make the play, though, this is a touchdown. Big block by 65 Davis. But Guyton, the free safety, you know, you have to be able to play center field, but down inside the 20 is to come up and stop Thurman Thomas.
3rd and 5 from the 6-yard line. Kelly going to throw it away. Nobody was open. Andre Reed was double covered on the near side, and so Steve Christie will come in for the field goal attempt.
And Gary forced the field goal attempt to Myron Guyton, the defensive free safety for the Giants, because he did a great job of tackling Thurman Thomas in the open field. Otherwise, it was a touchdown.
There's the man you're talking about, Guyton, as Christie will come in after that remarkable effort last week, a 59-yard field goal tied for the 3rd longest ever. This will be a 24-yard attempt. Frank Reich to hold. Christie's kick is up, and the Bills have taken a 3-0 lead. A very fast-paced, very efficient drive, ending on a 24-yard field goal by Christie. Christie now is 6 of 6 for the year.
In short, gentlemen, our capitalization plan has paid handsome dividends. Johnson here will fill you in on the details.
Thank you, J.P. Let me begin by saying, we've been acquired. By whom? The Omega Corporation? No. Chuck, from the mail room.
Howdy, boys. Ms. Whitaker.
New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
Coffee, Johnson.
Every day you're bombarded with advertising that screams, buy this, buy that, try this, try that. But while your desire for all this cool stuff is unlimited, your paycheck isn't. I mean, after you pay the phone, rent, and electric, there's barely enough to pay for necessities, like cable and CDs. It just isn't fair. But before you give up on that Mudman mountain bike, consider this, a Fleet low-interest credit card. Because unlike all those things that take more out of your paycheck, Fleet low-interest credit cards take out less, which gives you more to play around with. Fleet, whatever you make, they can make you go further.
It's Kenmore Days at Sears Brand Central. Save $180 on this 21 cubic foot Kenmore refrigerator, only $699.99. And save $220 on this 24 cubic foot side-by-side, only $1179.99. Now at Sears Brand Central.
Peanuts are sometimes called goobers. So are people who pay too much for their flights.
Don't be a goober. Fly for peanuts on Continental.
Eyewitness News at 6, your hometown team.
Oh, they ought to save that moon for the 31st of this month. Halloween. That's a Halloween moon. We'll be in Minnesota for the Lions and Vikings that night.
You going to skip Terry that night?
I don't want to scare everybody. Christie kicking off after the 24-yard field goal. Boy, this is being hung up. Maggot Dave Meggett comes up, takes it to the 25, out to the 30, 35. I don't know if he got that up in the wind or he just miskicked it.
Well, 25 to 40 mile an hour winds, and we said you can see the hair bone in there, the coach Bruce DeHaven. That's going to affect punters, kickers, holders, and snappers.
That's just about everybody, isn't it?
Well, I think I put some commas in there, too. Doesn't affect this guy. This is a guy that found all his lost socks in one space. You know?
Where's the face mask?
Wow.
He can't play without a face mask.
Looks like a kicker with that helmet.
From the 33 is where they're going to start this drive. Rodney Hampton to the backfield. 3-0 Buffalo. Here comes Hampton, who carried the ball 41 times 2 weeks ago. Jeff Wright, the nose tackle, made the stop. Rodney Hampton, in the estimation of Dan Reeves, the best he's ever coached. He seemingly is infatigable. He has tremendous stamina.
Yeah, Dan Reeves was saying, I've never had a guy this big and this good in Rodney Hampton. And it's a guy, you keep giving him the ball, and what happened against the Rams is that offensive line, there was no penetration by the Rams when he carried those 41 times. Every time he caught the ball, he got past to at least 2 or 3 yards into the Ram defense.
2nd and 8. Sims over the middle. He completes it to Hampton, and Hampton, fighting for the first down's got it. He made it to the 45-yard line. Last game, he caught one for 37 yards, so that's another dimension to this former Georgia standout.
You know, Phil Sims, I think, has been one of the most remarkable quarterbacks in terms of being able to hang in there in the pocket in a rush. Not looking at the rush, being able to get rid of the ball. I mean, the Jerry Quarry of quarterbacks. I mean, he's been knocked down so many times. If he starts bleeding, look out. That's when he starts playing.
We'll watch for that. First down now from the 45. Hampton going wide, tries to fend it backwards, and all of a sudden the blue shirts are there. Pretty good reaction that time. Mark Maddox, 55. He's one of the guys playing inside, along with Marcus Patton. A lot of changes there in that inside linebacking core from a year ago.
Yeah, Patton was saying yesterday about Rodney Hampton, he said, if you don't get him in the chest, he's going to run right through you. So when you're going to try to tackle Rodney Hampton, you really have to square up on him and tackle him right in the chest.
2nd and 9. Far side, and that was tipped. Intended for Mark Jackson at the Buffalo 45. One of the defensive guys getting a hand up on it, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. It could have been Jeff Wright, or it could have been this guy, Darryl Talley, who's kind of the heart and soul of this Bills defense. He is the man that really talks it up in there. He is the guy that gets them charged up. 3rd down and 9.
Darryl Talley is a guy who earns his paycheck every week. And you're going to get maximum effort out of Darryl Talley.
Trips formation, top of the field. Sims has his man. Ed McCaffrey catches the ball on the deflection. And he needed all of that height of 6'5" to reach up. A 23-yard grab by Ed McCaffrey, who last year led the Giants in receiving.
Couple things. Watch the block of Dave Meggett on Smith. He's helping out with the block. And then watch Sims step up into the pocket to get away from that. It helps the offensive tackle's block. The ball gets tipped by number 20, Henry Jones, right there in the middle of the screen. But terrific concentration by McCaffrey. But it started with the block by Elliott and Meggett on Bruce Smith.
First down at the 31 of Buffalo. Hampton again. Got a block. Changes the ball into his outside arm, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. He had a block, but pretty good recovery that time of the Bills, and in particular, J.D. Williams.
Yeah, and also Darryl Talley. I mean, Darryl Talley got blocked. We were talking about maximum effort a moment ago by Darryl Talley. Now, he gets blocked, he goes down, but he doesn't quit. I mean, you know exactly what you're going to get from Darryl Talley, a guy who does his job and plays hard every play and makes the people around him a better player.
2nd down, 6 from the 27. Hampton seeking some running room. He needs to get to the 21 for the first down. Appears to be short. It'll be a 3rd down.
Gary, you're seeing two completely different approaches to the game of football in the NFL tonight, on offense at least. The Giants trying to use the clock, soak as much time of it as they can. You know, they lead the NFL in time of possession with 37.5 minutes a game, versus the Bills, who are using the time between plays in a much different way, trying to get the ball snapped as many times as they can.
Well, the last game, they had 43 minutes and 29 seconds in time of possession against the Rams. 3rd and a yard. Sims intent for Howard cross, picked off by Henry Jones. Jones on his way. He's got an escort to the 40. Jones is going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Buffalo Bills, 85 yards.
Gary, Dan Reeves said yesterday, if we don't turn the ball over, we have a chance of winning this game. They've turned the ball over once that counted, once that didn't tonight. But that one results in a long touchdown interception run by Henry Jones, who's done it on TNT before. A couple years ago, he did it twice on a Sunday night game.
But that's his longest, 85 yards. Jones last year going to the Pro Bowl with 8 interceptions, which tied him for first in the NFL. Point after attempt now by Christie. And the Buffalo Bills have taken a 10-0 lead. 4:43 to go in this first quarter.
This is a 3rd and 1. The Giants are looking for a big play. The deep receiver's taking it away, and Sims is just trying to dump it off to a secondary receiver. But Henry Jones got his eyes turned back into the quarterback. It was tipped because it went off the wide receiver's hands, and Henry Jones dances into the end zone, and now the Bills are up by 10 points.
Metal grinding on metal. Friction can wear your engine down. Friction can shorten its life. This is Pennzoil, the friction-fighting motor oil that protects more engines than any other motor oil in America. Choose Pennzoil. Use Pennzoil, and you'll get quality engine protection in each and every drop. Pennzoil. Performance, protection, quality.
There are some tough birds in our division who love putting the ache to Aikman. And those people in Washington definitely believe in capital punishment. And even when things are going good, I remember there are still Giants in New York. Do I think winning another Super Bowl is going to be easy? Get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
Coca-Cola presents Monsters of the Gridiron.
Isn't that Randall Cunningham?
Not for long. Play Coca-Cola's Monsters of the Gridiron. Grab a specially marked Coke, call the toll-free Sprint Monster line, punch in the Monster code, and turn an NFL player into a monster.
Rocket Man?
Call and your monster will tell you if you won Super Bowl tickets, NFL merchandise, and Coca-Cola products.
That's Lawrence Taylor. Give me the phone.
Always Coca-Cola.
National Organization for Women.
In the eternal search for the truth, you're bound to step on a few toes.
Ross Perot.
To those aggrieved parties, we now offer our apology. Crossfire, weeknights on CNN.
10-0. Henry Jones, an 85-yard interception return for a touchdown. Sims with his 2nd interception of the year. Christie ready to kick off to Chris Callaway and Dave Meggett. It'll be Meggett at the 1. And Meggett gets away at the 15, tries to go wide, and good coverage that time by the Bills. Excellent coverage.
Gary, let's go back to the...
Tasker was there.
Let's go back to the interception, and what you have to realize on 3rd and 1, they always try to look deep first, because they're really going for the big play, and it's number 84, Aaron Pierce, who Sims is really trying to hit. But Mark Kelso was not fooled, so then he's just trying to dump it off to Howard Cross. The ball is too high because some people were in Sims' face, and that allowed Henry Jones to go the distance.
Well, the Giants had the ball, Pat, for 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Had driven it 51 yards before that interception. Trailing 10-0. Rodney Hampton out to the 20, to the 23-yard line. Hampton has that explosive first step that Dan Reeves was talking about. Patton was over there to make the stop. Now, they list him at 215, but talking to Rodney Hampton, he says, I'm about 225, but he hits you like he's a 250-pounder. Makes that guy miss you in the line of scrimmage, and then with that explosive burst. 2nd and 3 now for the Giants.
You gotta let me know I can't see you.
Goes in motion. Hampton running for the first down as he comes out to the 29-yard line. Cornelius Bennett made the stop.
Gary, you were talking about Rodney Hampton really being able to make people miss, and it is unusual for a guy that big. I mean, he is 225 pounds, and he can outrun people, but when he gets in a hole on the line of scrimmage, he can make people miss in a small area. You know, you expect a Dave Meggett kind of guy to be able to do that, but he runs like he's 180 pounds and can really bowl over you or make you miss in a short area and make something happen that way, too.
First down for the 29. Hampton again running wide. Hampton hurdles someone and comes across the 35. Pickup of almost 8 yards on the play. And they're not panicking. The Giants down 10-0, but they're going right back to the man who's played so well, Rodney Hampton. Well, you get stunned sometimes with an interception like that. Then you want to get it back in a hurry, and then everything comes apart.
Well, you know, Henry Jones, the strong safety for the Bills, has been a unique player for a number of years. This is a guy who's a great tackler as a strong safety, but also a big interceptor.
2nd and 3 for New York. Hampton again, and Hampton needs to get just about to the 39.5-yard line. I don't know if he reached that. If he didn't, it'll be a 3rd down. Darryl Talley made the stop for Buffalo. It is a 1st down.
Again, trying to control the clock, be somewhat methodical, keep the Jim Kelly and all those weapons they have on offense over on the Bills bench. But most importantly now, trailing by 10 points, Phil Simms has to get something on the board.
Hampton, 8 carries already, 35 yards. Aaron Pierce is in the backfield as the H-back. He'll lead Hampton to the near side. Hampton cuts it back, and he got back maybe to the line of scrimmage, and Bruce Smith, the 5-time Pro Bowler there, and he's getting up slowly after that impact.
Ordinarily, when Jumbo Elliott locks onto you, you don't come off. But this time, Bruce Smith fights him, you know, gets rid of him, sheds him, and makes the play. You know, Bruce Smith is not just a pass rusher. He can defend the run well as well, and there he sheds Bruce Smith to make the play.
You got to know where he is every snap. 2nd and 10. Simms with good protection, clearing over the middle is Dave Meggett. Meggett to the 40. And this is what they wanted to do, is get him more involved in the offense. That's a good way to do it. He was a dart over the middle, a 22-yard pickup on the play for the Giants.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball to Dave Meggett, you better take care of Bruce Smith first. And Doug Riesenberg does precisely that. I mean, he just tosses him. Actually, looks like Bruce Smith kind of tripped. But once you get down, you lay on him a little bit, and that allows your quarterback to find Dave Meggett out of the backfield. Now, again, if you can get Meggett going in the passing game and Rodney Hampton in the running game, this could be a pretty good Giant offense.
Inside the 40 of Buffalo now. 45 seconds left in the quarter, and we have a stoppage of the clock. We have a timeout called, and it's going to go against Buffalo, so they'll have 2 remaining. Marv Levy's team with a 10-0 lead. A field goal of 24 yards and an 85-yard interception return by Henry Jones.
Group practice really provides a chance to do better medicine. I like working at healthcare plan. I like working with the doctors, the pharmacists, the nurses. There's a great atmosphere with a common goal to work together to provide the best care that we can give. I really like taking care of people. I know a healthcare plan provides the kind of services and support that allows me to practice the best medicine I know how.
Saturday, tango. Great. Bye. Dance. Dance.
We are Bianca.
And Benny.
Master the passion of the tango. The cha-cha-cha.
Bianca and I started on Broadway in 1950.
Benny, we teach all levels.
That was the original production of Coco Loco.
No partner necessary. You'll be tangoing tomorrow.
The 9X Yellow Pages. It's surprising what the ads can tell you.
I taught all the stars.
Benny.
Everything about the new Chrysler New Yorker seems to awe the automotive press. The revolutionary cab-forward design. The 24-valve V6 engine. And even the price, under $26,000. And what do we have to say about it? Chrysler New Yorker. The American luxury car is now in the fast lane at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Well, the Bills had to burn a timeout because Bruce Smith, he got dinged on that one play where he made the tackle, and they had to get him out of there and couldn't get him off the field quick enough. And he was getting the cobwebs out on the near sideline.
Dan Reeves was saying we can't let Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett really dictate early in the football game. Bruce Smith is off to a pretty fine start.
First down now for the Giants. Sims 3 of 7, 55 yards and an interception. Hampton caught from behind. Very good reaction that time by Jeff Wright closing down. So Wright, who the 49ers tried to pry away by free agency, they matched the offer, and the Bills are glad to have 91 still in their lineup.
Yeah, Jeff Wright is a nose tackle plus, Gary. I mean, you know, most nose tackles, as he says, kind of climb into that phone booth, you know, and play those 3-yard areas. But Jeff Wright plays kind of like a linebacker. He's got some movement in him, and he can run you down from the backside as he did right there.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. We come down to the last seconds of quarter number 1. That's Cross in motion. Hampton on a 2nd down 12 got back to the line of scrimmage. And that's all because Marcus Patton, who has really come on in an inside linebacking spot, made the stop. We've come to the end of the first quarter, and the Bills with a 10-0 lead.
In the 80s, a lot of companies invested their pension funds in questionable real estate. Unfortunately, that's life. In the 80s, we invested most of our pension funds in investment-grade bonds. That's New York Life. New York Life, the company you keep.
You know, there's one thing that most sporting events have in common. When you see this R, the player's wearing a Russell Athletic NFL Pro Line jersey.
Hi, Warren. Hey, Joe.
Russell Athletic is also the official uniform supplier of Major League Baseball. They even have in most major college and high school teams. In fact, Russell Athletic even makes great sweats and tees for the rest of us. Unfortunately, not everybody's gotten to work.
Russell Athletic. It's everything we make that makes our sweats and tees so great.
Open your coat, please. Take that thing out slowly and open it.
We got some kind of device. We have a possible situation.
No,
we have a situation here.
Not a situation. Don't touch the button. Quiet, please.
It's just a car stereo.
Pioneer car stereos offer you a detachable face for the ultimate in security.
You see, it's a detachable face for the car stereo. What's the matter with these people?
Teach your children well.
Hey, buddy. You gonna do it alone this time?
It slowly go by. Don't you ever ask them
When the time comes for a man to choose his own brand of underwear, more men choose Fruit of the Loom than any other brand. The reason is simple. Comfort. Because that's what real men want. Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
Rich Stadium, the home of the Bills, 10-0 Buffalo. Big play coming up now for the Giants, 3rd and 12.
Yeah, this is the play where they've got to get either Dave Megan involved or Mark Jackson.
Megan's in the backfield with Hampton. Sims rolling his way. Going to throw back. Mark Jackson broken up by Mark Kelso at the 20-yard line.
Mark Jackson waited for that ball too long, Gary. Mark Jackson allowed Mark Kelso, 38 there for the Bills, to make a play. He was open, but he's got to come back to the ball. Phil Simms sprints out to the right, and Maggot, number 30, really kind of seals the block inside to give Simms a chance to really find whom he wants. But Jackson's waiting. If you come back to the ball, maybe you have a chance to make the play, but the ball was in the air too long, and Kelso knocks it away.
John Landeta to punt the football from the Giant 46. No real rush. He's trying to pooch it, keep it in the field of play. And did they save it? They may have. Willie Beeman, number 21, may have kept the ball in the field of play. He did. Excellent play.
Yeah, that's a big play, Gary. Special teams have to do it for you.
38-yard punt, and the Bills start deep at the 1.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by GMC Truck, the strength of experience. And by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your bud.
It's a round world, genuine and true. It keeps on spinning and you always come through. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud.
Underneath every new Jimmy is the strength of a strong truck frame. An important advantage for towing, whether you're on-road or off-road. The GMC Jimmy. Drop in for a test drive.
Owens Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new insulation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier insulation. For the Pink Plus dealer nearest you, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
And the Buffalo Bills leading at 10-0. I have a perfect view of the Bills lined up in the end zone down here at Rich Stadium. Coming up at halftime, Rod Woodson from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kevin Kiley and I will be here on the stadium show. We're going to get Rod Woodson to give us a rating of all the quarterbacks in the league. Don't miss it at halftime.
All right, Bob, we'll look forward to that. Second time Buffalo started inside their own 10-yard line, and Thurman Thomas able to bring it out close to the 5. Second down there.
Is it my imagination that end zone used to be red and now it's pink? Did the wind just blow all the red off it?
I tell you, we haven't seen enough sunshine here to bleach that end zone, has it? Second down, 5 yards to go. Kelly trying to get the first down, and that is incomplete at the 20-yard line. Diving attempt by Andre Reed. It'll bring up a third down.
Yeah, and again, another important down for the New York Giant defense, which is ranked number 1 in the NFL right now. Their team is trailing by 10 points. Their special teams, the Giant special teams, just put the Bills in a hole. Now it's time for the Giant defense to force a punt.
Kelly now for the ball game is 2 of 6 for 26 yards. Third down along 5. Delayed handoff, try to cross him up. Thurman Thomas fighting out for what appears to be enough for the first down. There is a penalty flag. Michael Brooks, the former Denver Bronco, number 94, made the tackle.
Yeah, Thurman Thomas gets more production out of a hole, I think, than anybody in the league. There wasn't 5 yards in that run, but I think he may have gotten it. I mean, in those blocks, there wasn't 5 yards, but just keep bouncing around.
The Bills are backing up like the penalties against them.
Holding, number 67, offense. Half the distance penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat third down.
That is Kent Hall, who injured his knee in the Super Bowl. They had 2 arthroscopic surgeries, and starting for the first time. They'd love to have him back. He's so smart, making all the blocking calls up front. So they do not have the first down. Third down and 5. Kelly going to have to get out of there, or he would then tackle for a safety. He gets it out to the 4. At is a coverage play all the way. No one clearing. Lawrence Taylor got there and dropped it.
Yeah, well, watch LT number 56. He still can have incredible bursts of energy, even when he's got a pulled left hamstring, and he's wearing bandages around his left thigh.
You know what's interesting about that? LT has never sacked Jim Kelly. But he got past the line of scrimmage, so that won't be a sack either.
Yeah.
All of those 128 sacks, he's never sacked Kelly. Chris Moore, look at the wind, hold this one up. And don't ask me which way the wind's blowing. It just swirls here at Rich Stadium.
Well, that one was definitely into the wind. I mean, it is swirling inside the 20s, but he had no chance of getting that one out past the 50s.
Chris Moore handles these wins so well. Steve Tasker, who was the MVP in the Pro Bowl, the outstanding special teams player. What a fireball he is, and he's arguing he didn't like what developed there. That ends up being a 34-yard punt.
And Tasker has had a remarkable career as a special teams player. I think this is where he thinks he got clipped and pushed to the back, and he's right. Should have been a penalty.
That was Willie Beeman.
Yep. Should have been a penalty.
So now the Giants have excellent field position at the 38 of Buffalo. Rodney Hampton trying to read the blocking, and he's inside the 35 and tackled there. LT's had that strained hamstring he hurt a couple of weeks ago against the Rams. He really did not go full speed all week long in practice.
You know, one thing about this Giant offense, too, when you're methodical and you're trying to keep a hamstring warm, I mean, it can be tough on you. It's a cold night. It's a windy night. Your offense is controlling the ball, so you better have your trainer keep you loose on the sideline.
2nd and 7 for the Giants. Delayed handoff to Hampton. From behind, the Bills reacted well, got penetration at time. Never did let Rodney Hampton get started up the field.
You're right. Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, said when you play against Rodney Hampton, you have to play on their side of the line of scrimmage. You have to get 2 or 3 yards in the backfield, and don't let Rodney Hampton get started, because once he does, he's going to have a 100-yard day.
Marv Fitzpatrick was there to make the stop, a loss of a yard, 3rd and 8.
Bill defense thus far, Gary, has responded to every big 3rd down play.
Timeout. And so the Giants will use their first. Boy, was it noisy. In fact, Sims not going to go to the shotgun because of the noise problems you have here at Rich Stadium. Also, interestingly said, he reads better when he's underneath center. He's a speed reader, he says, when he's out of the shotgun. When he takes the snap, he has a tendency to read more precisely. 10-0. We'll be back after.
Okay, it's payday. Time to refuel the old checking account and get on with the business of buying stuff. You know, stuff for the home, for the kids, for the car, and just for the heck of it. You can put it on plastic, which is great for holding dog food, but isn't so good when you run up a debt so big you'll make the evening news. Enter the Fleet 24 Select card. Sure, it looks like a credit card, but instead of adding to your debt, it subtracts from your checking account, and it's accepted wherever MasterCard is. So now you can get all the things you need without the things you don't need, like check writing hassles and interest charges. Fleet, whatever you make, they can make it go further.
Chrysler LHS so impresses the critics, they praise it wherever they go. To the ballpark, to the theater. And with its high-performance engine, leather trim, driver and passenger airbags, ABS and traction control, all under $31,000, they most often praise it all the way to the bank. Chrysler LHS, the American luxury car, is now in the fast lane at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
I love fall. The smell of caulk and wood sealer in the air. Ah! It's about done. Oh, geez. I gotta go to Builder Square. He caulked, he insulated, he saved money, he conquered! If only he could find the door he covered up.
Builder Square, the warehouse with everything for your house this fall.
E.T. revisited here at Rich Stadium.
Where's the bicycle?
So the Giants burning a timeout. Here's the reason.
You know, watch Bruce Smith. Even when he's not playing, he forces you to call audibles. I mean, even in between plays. You see, he starts over the center. Then he lines up at the defensive end, forces a timeout. Because of the audible.
3rd down and 8 now for the Giants. Sims, a loss, and he is really upset. Jeff Wright, coming from the backside, he stepped up in the pocket trying to buy some time, and it collapsed on him.
Yeah, when you have some good outside rushers, Gary, in Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett, you're going to force the quarterback to step up inside, and then if you get good inside penetration from your nose tackle like Jeff Wright, you're going to sack the quarterback.
So on a 3rd and 8, they lose yardage. It'll be 4th and 11. Landetta in to punt the football.
Well, the Bill defense has played well.
See if he can get one out on the 1-yard line again. This one's going to make it in for the touchback. End up being a 39-yard punt. The Bills will have it at the 20-yard line with a 10-0 lead.
Let's go back and look at that last play, the sack of Phil Simms. Again, I believe it was Bruce Smith over the center. And what Bruce Smith does, he lines up on the center's snapping hand, the right hand. And when he does that, he gets a tremendous jump. And then it was Cornelius Bennett coming from the outside, forcing Phil Simms up. So that time it was Smith and Bennett forcing the sack.
Dan Reeves very concerned about the beating Simms has been taking. He had 5 sacks in the last game. Here's Thurman Thomas. Thomas, nice sideways move. Gets out to 22, and here comes the flag. Sideways move by number 34 with a good vision that time.
Yeah, you know, Thomas is a stop and go and a sideways kind of runner. I mean, really a unique style that Thurman Thomas has. Equally dangerous, that'll be against the Bills, equally dangerous, I think, Gary, as a receiver as he is a runner.
Well, let's take a look now at the GMC truck leaderboard. We're going to take a look at the NFL leading rushers after 4 weeks.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So the Bills now will be at the 10-yard line, and Rodney Hampton, this is what they've been averaging after 4 weeks of play. Hampton leading the pack. Barry Sanders, Waters, and Thurman Thomas averaging 79. He was held to 42 last week in the loss to Miami. 1st and 20 now after the penalty. Over the middle, catch is made by Bill Brooks. They'll be 5 yards short of the first down, so they get 15 of the 20 back. And Brooks, as there's another penalty flag at a big game last week. This is a 15-yard catch if it holds, but I think it's coming back again.
Well, the difference in this game so far, Gary, I believe, has been the Buffalo Bill defense. I mean, Coach Levy's having
That was not a Phi Beta Kappa statement there, by the way.
No, he's having a bad hair day and upset about it.
If you read lips, we apologize.
Number 67 offense, half the distance.
That's Ken Hall again.
Yeah. And he didn't believe it either. And neither is Marv Levy. But with a 10-point lead, the Bills right now, it's been their defense. They made all the critical 3rd down plays and the interception for the touchdown. Now it's Jim Kelly's turn to get this offense moving.
First down now, 25 yards to go. Trying to wedge it out a little bit as Thurman Thomas gets out to about the 7-yard line. Buffalo, 4th penalty already as we have 11 minutes remaining in the first half. That broke the record of Jim Brown, who had previously held it before Thomas, for the 4th year, led them in total all-purpose yardage. Kelly back, running out. He's going to be tackled for a loss at the 2. Again, close to another safety situation. Lawrence Taylor was there. Now, Taylor, if he got him here, that would be the sack that's been so elusive of Jim Kelly.
And he's limping around, Gary, but even a Lawrence Taylor limping around can affect the ball game. I mean, Lawrence Taylor is still an icon in professional football. Over the last 10 years, as we said last week, only 2 defensive guys have been able to affect the outcome of games by themselves, Lawrence Taylor and Ronnie Lott.
3rd and 27. Kelly again deep from the end zone, and Brooks, the intended receiver. Mark Collins defending on the play, and they're going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, and remember the last punt, Gary, right into that wind that just got blocked back. So this is another great opportunity for the New York Giants. The first thing you do, though, is you find out where Steve Tasker is, and you make sure he's not down there raising havoc with your punt returner.
You see that flag? They were telling us before the game the wind actually blows the other way. Now, can you figure that one out?
No, I cannot. There's many things I can't figure out.
Chris Moore as deep as he can get. He's going to try to punt it. He got it away. Off the side of his foot, but he's very fortunate to get out of there, and it's going to be down at the 33.
I'll tell you, we said the wind, everybody has to be concerned about the wind. Punters, snappers, holders. But I tell you, Chris Moore did a good job just getting rid of this one. That was a good snap, but he did the right thing. Still had time, was patient enough, and got off a pretty good punt into a very stiff breeze.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your Proud to be your bud.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. Why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Try Castrol Super Clean for tough, greasy jobs. If it won't come clean with Super Clean, it won't come clean.
At GMC Truck, we've built a reputation for truck strengths. A considerable advantage. It also comes in this handy take-home size. Sierra from GMC Truck.
Oscar winner Jack Lemmon.
I feel ready to act.
Tony winner Matthew Broderick.
I think I missed my cue.
A TNT original comedy about a life in the theater. A new TNT motion picture premiere. A Life in the Theater. Saturday at 8 Eastern on TNT.
Well, Chris Moore, the pretty good ad-lib effort, got a 31-yard punt out of there, avoiding what could have been a disaster. And for the fourth time now, New York has it in Buffalo territory.
Not blowing his nose, he's blowing his hands. I mean, it is cold and it is windy out here, and it's going to be a factor all evening.
They'll start this drive from the 33 of Buffalo. Sims, complete to Sherrard. Mike Sherrard makes the catch at the 20. That's a first down, a 13-yard pickup on the play.
Gary, the biggest difference from the Giants on offense this year is speed at wide receiver and the ability to make big plays. A year ago, they only had, I think, 9 30-yard pass completions for the entire year. This year, already, they have 6.
From the 20-yard line, first down. Hampton and Kenyon Rashid are in the backfield. This will be Hampton. And Hampton tackled just as he crosses the 20-yard line. And Bruce Smith, after getting dinged early, has come back in and makes the stop there.
We've seen Bruce Smith play over the center. You know, he's lined up in a 3-point stance playing as a wide defensive end. But sometimes he's in a 2-point stance. And when you stand next to he and Darryl Talley, that's a lot of football players over there on that side of the field. You might want to run somewhere else. But again, he gets the better of Jumbo Elliott there and makes the play on the run.
3-1, second and 9. Hampton to the 15-yard line. It'll be 5 yards short of the first down. A third down coming up now for the Giants. They've got to get something out of this drive.
Yeah, you're right. They've had 2 good opportunities here, this being the second. Now, in the old days, before Dan Reeves was here, and really in the Parcells area, and 3rd and 5, Dave Maggott owned this down. I mean, just came out and run the option routes. Now, they've got him once so far tonight, and he's in the game again.
The Giants 1 of 5 on 3rd down. Delayed handoff to Maggott. Maggott's got it. He's inside the 10. He'll have a first and goal as he stopped near the 5-yard line. So on a 3rd and 5, a little delay to Maggott, and he's got a first and goal for the Giants.
If you're going to run the ball up the middle, And number 78, Bruce Smith, is there. You got to double team him first. And once you do that, you lock on the linebackers, and you give Dave Meggett a chance to use his unique abilities to be able to pick up the first down. I mean, Meggett is a much better runner than people give him credit for.
Here's what's happened thus far in the red zone coming into tonight. First and goal from the 6. Timeout, Sims. The Giants have one. 7:43 left in this first half of play. Reeves not happy that they had to use another timeout.
Well, Gary, you know, much has been made about all the field goals being kicked in the NFL this year, and Tom Jackson, actually of ESPN, had a great thing on field goals and kickers today on his show. But if you can run the ball inside the 15-yard line like the Giants can, you have a chance to score some touchdowns. Now, Dan Reeves has said, hey, I'm not satisfied with my red zone offense. We're not scoring enough TDs. Yes, we're scoring, but they need to get the ball in the end zone.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. Bob Neal and Kevin Kiley. Rod Woodson, who coming into this weekend led the NFL in interceptions with 6 scores and highlights. And it was a tough day for quarterbacks today. Makes you want to come back and play again, right?
No. I'm not sure I wanted to play when I was playing.
Unfortunate injury in all seriousness to Randall Cunningham. He is out with a leg injury. We saw Bobby Hebert suffer a shoulder injury. We'll have more of that as we catch the action here in week 5. Here we go. First and goal from the 6.
Rodney Hampton is their power back.
Mark Jackson comes in motion. Here comes Hampton. Hampton fighting for the goal line. He's going to be shoved back. He's inside the 5, close to the 3. Second and goal there.
Gary, we said it a little bit earlier, but I think an interesting contrast in styles and approach to the game of offense. New York has held the ball for nearly 15 minutes this half. Buffalo for 7.5. But Buffalo leads right now 10-0. But this is a critical drive for the New York Giants. Need to get 7 out of this.
The big play, of course, was the interception by Henry Jones, an 85-yard touchdown return. Second and goal from the 3. Aaron Pierce, the H-back in motion, pitch to Hampton. Hampton tries to cut it back. He's going to be thrown for a loss. That was Nate Odoms from the cornerback spot who failed, and they're going to have the line of scrimmage outside the 5. It'll be third and goal from there. Nate Odoms went to his first Pro Bowl last year, the former track and football standout from Wisconsin.
Nate Odoms made a terrific player. I mean, this is the guy, he's the guy in motion. He's going to come up here and make the play. But, I mean, a piercing tackle. He can cover the wide receivers and stop you on goal line.
Loss of 2, third and goal from the 5. Sims, a blitz coming from Cornelius Bennett. Dumps it. Touchdown. Catch by Chris Callaway.
Great play by Phil Sims to buy himself a little bit of time to find Chris Callaway, because he should have been sacked there.
But he finds a way, doesn't he?
He does.
Phil Sims has always been such a great competitor, and there was a great example of it. Callaway with his first touchdown catch, his 3rd catch of the year. Point after attempt now. David Treadwell kicking out of the hold of Kent Graham, and the Giants, after getting stunned 10-0 in the first quarter, have climbed within 3. 10-7, the Bills. We have 6:15 to go in this first half. Phil Sims, as Pat was mentioning, should have been sacked. Cornelius Bennett just missed him. And Callaway, the former Michigan standout, with 6.
This is Bradford Hall. Notice the 19th century Italian marble. This is the Bradford Armory, the finest collection of its kind in North America. This is the Bradford Library, 50,000 volumes, all extremely rare. And this is the Bradford living room. Oh, and these are the Bradfords.
How you doing? Grab a chair. We got 1 million of them.
New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
You're in it for the long run. Stand the test of time. Gotta be ready to
It's your swing.
Yeah. Hey, how'd you swing the Grand Prix? I thought you were getting a Taurus.
That was before I checked out the Grand Prix.
Oh?
Fact is, Grand Prix is the most affordable mid-size sedan with a V6 front-wheel drive, anti-lock brakes, and dual airbags.
Really?
With a Pontiac Smart Drive, it was only $259 a month for 24 months.
Wow. Wish I could drive like that.
Get a Grand Prix at your Western New York Pontiac dealer.
Well, 4 times the Giants started and the Bills into the field, and in the 4th attempt, they get on the scoreboard. 7 plays, 33 yards, taking 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Aloiso kicking off for the Giants, kind of knocked down, and they're going to down it there. Russell Copeland will go to a knee. Let's go back to the touchdown, Pat.
Remember Dan Reeves said about Phil Simms, his courage in the pocket. Now, he gets a big rush there by Cornelius Bennett. Buys a little bit more time, takes a shot, but still is able to show the emotion. You know, I call him the Jerry Quarry of quarterbacks because he gets beaten up so much. But even when you're getting beaten up, you're going to see Callaway, number 80, come right across the middle here. Simms has 3 blue jerseys around him and still is able to find a way to lead Callaway for a perfect pass. That's a heck of a touchdown.
10-7 the Bills as Kelly starts this series with Thurman Thomas bouncing outside, getting close to the 25-yard line. Kelly's only 2 of 7 for 26 yards passing.
Well, their offense, even though Jim Kelly is, calling the plays, still is quite not in sync. Now, they haven't been on the field very much because the Giants have maintained possession so much, but they still don't look like they're in sync, Gary.
2nd down, 6 yards to go. It's Thomas again, not much doing. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Well, let's take this opportunity now to look at the NFL action on the Russell Athletic Scoreboard. Week number 5, and the Saints, one of 3 unbeaten teams coming into the day, won again, as did the Eagles. So the Giants right now trying to duplicate that and remain unbeaten. 3rd and 3 now for Buffalo. Kelly, rifle shot. Excellent by Carlton Bailey, and then it's going to be pass interference over the back of Pete Metzelaars, the tight end. Here's a former Bill who lost his starting job and then went over to the Giants as an unrestricted free agent.
Pass interference, number 54, defense, automatic first down.
Taking a look at the rest of the action as Carlton Bailey gives the Bills, his former teammates, a new life, and the Cowboys have kind of righted themselves. Troy Aikman, another strong performance. Joe Montana was hurt in this ballgame. That's another quarterback. Hamstring injury. Dave Craig had to finish it out. Here's a completion to Bill Brooks, and Brooks is going to be very close to the first down and has it.
You don't think Dan Reeves is a little competitive? Did you see him? Here's a guy, Dan Reeves, who when he was in, playing some touch football and growing up on a farm, they used to have barbed wire as their boundaries.
Well, go ahead and finish it.
And he ran into it. He had, scars all over his hands.
And he was proud of it.
Yeah.
Did you see him? You showing us that last night. There it is, right there, Pat. You guys from L.A., you wouldn't know anything about it. It's an interception. Greg Jackson picks it up. And Jackson will be down at the 40-yard line. Pass to the near side intended for Don Beebe, and Jackson comes up with his first interception of the year.
We talked about the Bills still not being in sync. They started this with Jim Kelly calling the plays tonight to try to get into a better rhythm. But I think the Giants controlling the clock so much, Gary, they've taken them out of rhythm again. But the thing about Jim Kelly, though, he doesn't get discouraged. I mean, he's a guy that can throw some interceptions, as he did right there to Greg Jackson, who made a nice read and a nice play, and then he can come back and beat you in the 4th quarter.
Well, that's a good point, Pat. He is resilient, as these Bills have been. Kelly's only 3 of 9 now, 40 yards and an interception. They start from the 40-yard line. Simms to Hampton. Hampton showing that cutback ability. The Bills were talking about it last night. We have to be aware of him cutting back. Oliver Barnett, number 77, was over there. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for New York.
Well, if the Bills are really going to stop Rodney Hampton, the only success they've had is when they've had some penetration and played on the Giants side of the line of scrimmage. That's happened 2 times, and they've gotten Rodney Hampton. But that time, again, the offensive line for the Giants controlled it.
2nd down, 7 for New York. 10-7, Buffalo. Simms to the big wide receiver. Check that tight end, Aaron Pierce, and that's only his second catch of the year. That's a 19-yard grab. The former Washington Husky who played on Don James' national championship team.
Yeah, Aaron Pierce was the guy they were trying to hit on that third one that got picked off for a touchdown, but in a deep pattern. This is his second deep route of the night. This time they do get the ball to him, and I tell you, he took a shot from Henry Jones.
But they now have a first down at the 40, back into the Buffalo end of the field. Gerard goes in motion. Hampton sweeping the near side. Riesenberg throws a block, and he pumps his legs, gets close to the 35.
You know, Gary, the Bills, although they didn't think they'd win the time of possession battle tonight, thought they'd run more plays than the Giants in the hurry-up offense. But you see what's happening. The Giants not only controlling the clock, which is their strategy, their game plan, but the number of plays as well. Interesting, you know, really interesting, the two different philosophies. Right now, Dan Reeves' team is being very methodical on offense and efficient.
Well, they're averaging time of possession 37 minutes and 28 seconds. So they're right on track, right on target to get there again tonight. 2nd and 5. Hampton, nice stop-start move, close to the first down. He needed to get to the 30. Fun to watch him run with the ball. After the game 2 weeks ago, he got into a tub of ice, just immersed his entire body after 41 carries. And they're going to measure to see if he got the first down.
He's one of the most organized guys you want to be around, Dan Reeves. He and both his coaches are, and rumor has it, though, as a kid, he used to arrange his stuffed animals by species. That's how organized he was.
I hope that's just a rumor.
I heard it.
Oh, you heard it?
I did.
It is a first down. Well, you played golf with Dan Reeves. Is he as intense and competitive as everybody talks about?
A very, very competitive guy. I mean, he was saying, one of the big adjustments is his system had even numbers to the right, odds to the left. And Phil Simms was saying, for 15 years in the NFL, it's been just the opposite for me. So they had to change the plays to even to the left, odd to the right for Phil Simms.
We're going to have the 2-minute warning. We'll be back 10-7, but the Giants want to tie it up or even take the lead when we come back.
25 years the club's been taking this vacation. Maybe it should have been 24.
Welcome to Dollar. Something in a full size?
As long as there's room for my hog.
For as much room as you need. Rent from Dollar. They're right on the airport, right on the money.
All right, everybody, hands on the wheel at 10 and 2.
Call your travel agent or 1-800-800-4000.
After all these years, Watson, the trail is decidedly cold.
But Holmes, it's quite warm in here.
All these years.
Curiously cozy.
No. Fiendishly clever. Observe, Watson. Warm house, many years. It must be...
Lennox.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
For home heating, for cooking, for hot water, use clean, natural gas. America's best energy value.
Underneath every new Jimmy is the strength of a strong truck frame. An important advantage for towing, whether you're on-road or off-road. The GMC Jimmy. Drop in for a test drive.
10-7, the Bills, as we come back. The 2-minute warning has just been completed as we have a first down at the 30 as the Giants putting some heat on the Buffalo Bills here in Rich Stadium. Hampton's carried the ball 20 times for 55 yards, and at halftime, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report with Rod Woodson. I stand corrected, he has only 5 interceptions, not 6, but he may get one the next game.
Absolutely, I wouldn't put it past Rod.
Simms now has hit 4 of his last 5 passes, 6 of 11 for the night.
Big defensive series here now, under 2 minutes for the Bills defense, Gary. They've responded so far tonight.
In motion, Mark Jackson. Hampton didn't get anything. Good reaction inside that time by Darryl Talley, number 56, who came in here with 906 career tackles. That's a lot of tackles. Second down, virtually no gain.
Yeah, you're right. You think about Darryl Talley, and for years he was unnoticed, but averaged over 80 tackles a year, and we're talking about 11 years in the league.
Clock running. You see it. Second down, 10. Sims with a lot of time. Going wide open, far sideline to Sherrard to the 5, and he's going to be dragged down outside the 5-yard line. First and goal, New York, 1:09. They have one timeout remaining. That's a 24-yard gain.
Well, he was too open. Mike Sherrard was too open. There had to be a blown coverage. Twice now, the Giants have run that little corner route, Gary. Once was to Aaron Pierce on the left side, that time to Mike Sherrard. I mean, he was open by a good 8 to 10 yards.
Sherrard, of course, coming over from San Francisco. What an addition he is. First and goal. You see the time, 43 seconds. The Giants have one timeout remaining. Sims to Hampton. Hampton will get to the 2. Mark Maddox made the stop there, and we're going to have a timeout call by the Giants, so they are out of timeouts. Seemingly this entire second quarter, the Giants have been at this end of the field. They've had the Bills backed up 5 times. They've been in the Bills' end of the field. And now, with no timeouts remaining, they have the ball at the 2-yard line.
The play before, the pass to Mike Sherrard, actually, Dan Reeves is right here. He is trying to get a timeout called. He's going to send Callaway over here to the official to try to get a timeout called. Now, it didn't work out, and of course, they threw the ball to a wide-open Mike Sherrard.
It's like a jump shot basketball. You say, no, 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 yes. Well, it was a yes as Sherrard made the catch. Now they're going to have to really be very good at managing their time here.
Right, but with 29 seconds remaining, they still can run the ball here, Gary. I mean, it doesn't have to be a pass. I mean, plenty of time. Everybody's going to be bunched close to the line of scrimmage. You don't have to worry about getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Aaron Pierce in motion. Sims back of the end zone, incomplete. Crossing over the middle was Derek Brown, second-year man out of Notre Dame. That stops the clock with 24 seconds left in this first half.
Trailing by 3 points, obviously you don't want to have the turnover or the sack. But what you're really thinking about is getting that ball in the end zone and going into halftime with a lead. Good pressure there on Sims by Patton, number 53. Makes him throw it too tall to Derek Brown. And that is tall because Brown is 6'6".
Third and goal from the 2. In motion, Sims looking. Catch is made, touchdown, Mark Jackson, and the Giants have taken the lead.
Phil Sims ought to be celebrating because once again, Gary, he hung in there in that pocket like very few quarterbacks will. I mean, I think Phil may have been able to drive into the to run into the end zone, even though he moves a little bit like the Chrysler building. But he might have been able to run it in. But he saw number 20 there, and then he just kind of finds his way, keeps looking, is always looking downfield, and never at the rush.
And Mark Jackson, who the coach has said makes so many clutch plays, made one there. The kick by Treadwell, and it's a 14-10 lead. The Giants, after trailing 10-0 in the first quarter, have just kept relentless pressure on the Bills since that time.
They have controlled the clock. They have maintained possession. They did have the one big turnover, but it's been plays like this. The offensive line did their job. Phil Sims did his, and then Mark Jackson made a very nice catch.
That was 9 plays covering 59 yards. Took 4 minutes and 17 seconds. And again, Pat, what jumps out at me is number 11's savvy, his experience, not getting rattled when he gets some pressure coming.
Jackson, it's one of the hardest things, Gary, for a quarterback to do is just hang in there. You got big bodies flying, a lot of guys coming after you. And, you know, we talked about the wide receivers making a big difference in this Giant offense. And they really have. Both Mark Jackson and Mike Sherrard have made a tremendous difference in the Giants' ability to make big plays.
Mark Jackson, who played so well for Dan Reeves, 7 years in Denver, coming over and making that touchdown catch. That was his second of the year. He had 57 catches one year in 1990 for Denver. Played at Purdue when his college quarterback was Jim Everett. 18 seconds left now in the half. Deloiso, there'll be no return on this one.
Gary, watch as Mark Jackson really feels his way on the touchdown. Now, this is the guy in motion to cross. He's going to come in now. He's going to wait a little bit, come in here, and then make the catch. It's Mark Jackson. Waits for the Howard Cross to clear out it, and then he's in there among linebackers. With the perfect throw away from the linebacker tally, and a nice adjustment by Mark Jackson, and now the Giants lead 14-10.
Now, some people said the Giants hadn't beaten very many good football teams to go 3-0. They thought this would be their real first test in some ways, and in the first half, they're 4 points to the better. 14-10, New York with the lead. Don't forget at the halftime, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report, as Dan Reeves 3-0 and creating quite a stir throughout New York and the NFL. His team with a surprising lead here at Rich Stadium. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Is your poor old elbow running?
Now, from WKBW-TV News Channel 7, this is an Eyewitness News Digest.
Good evening, I'm Jean Hill. This is an Eyewitness News Update. The political uprising in Moscow has escalated tonight. Hardline protesters have hijacked military trucks and smashed them through the entrance of Moscow's City Hall. City Hall is across from the Russian Parliament building, where lawmakers have been holed up for days. The protesters also exchanged gunfire with police. Hardliners are battling President Boris Yeltsin, who dissolved Parliament and ordered new elections. Well, the Buffalo Bills are battling it out with the New York Giants at Rich Stadium. We'll bring you post-game coverage with interviews and highlights following the game on Eyewitness News. John Murphy will be live from the locker room with an inside look at how the Bills approached the Giants' defense, which ranked #1 in the NFL going into the game. Right now, let's go outside to Kevin for a quick look at the weather. Kevin?
Well, Jeannie, we've got a high wind warning in effect for all of western New York. We're looking for winds possibly up to 50 miles an hour. The biggest damage, if any, will be along the lakeshore. Some erosion there with waves as high as 10 feet. We'll keep an eye on that. But for tomorrow, look for a temperature of 50 degrees when you go to work. However, with the wind, it's going to feel much cooler. Look for some scattered showers around as well. And those showers will be hanging around with us during the day. We'll see a high of about 60 degrees in mid-morning. And from there, a frontal system will pass on through and cool things off quite a bit. Showers coming to end. Maybe see some sunshine later on in the afternoon. Jean?
That's it for this look at Eyewitness News. I'm Jean Hill. Remember to join us for post-game coverage. Now back to the action at Rich Stadium.
Looking like they are for real. People knew they were 3-0. They had not played tough competition, said they'd be tested tonight against the Jets. Defense and offensive line looking good for the New York Giants. Another New York team that's been playing well of late, the New York Jets, had a big lead early on Philadelphia. Ernie Johnson, along with all the other highlights from the NFL today, what happened in that Philadelphia game?
Well, the Eagles were doing the comeback thing again. They've been very adept at that this season so far. Came back in the fourth to beat the Packers, came back in the fourth to beat the Redskins, and today they did it to the New York Jets, and they did it without Randall Cunningham down the stretch because Randall broke his leg and left in the second quarter. He's out 8 to 10 weeks. Bubby Brister filled in admirably for him. On the New York side of things, Boomer Esiason, 19 out of 33, 297 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to number 86 right there, Johnny Mitchell, the tight end out of Nebraska. This game seesawed back and forth. It was 30-28. Jets with the lead, about 8 minutes to go in the fourth. Big D from the Eagles, Eric Allen.
Force the tight end in motion. Asias in play action. He's back. He's firing. And it's intercepted again on the far side of the field. Intercepted by Allen. Sitting at the 10. Out to the 15. The 20. Cutting to his left at the 25-30. Allen at the 40. Allen at the 45-50. 45-40. Eric Allen down the far sideline. Steps over a man. He's going to go! Eric Allen! Eric Allen with the miraculous return of an interception. And the Eagles take the lead.
And the first guy Allen saw over there was Randall Cunningham on the crutches. 35-30. The Eagles are a perfect 4-0. New Orleans is a perfect 5-0, beating the Rams, though Tony Zendejas did set an NFL record with his 9th straight field goal of 50 yards plus. San Francisco, the offense scored, the defense scored, the special teams scored, 38-19 over Minnesota. Green Bay played Dallas today at Texas Stadium, and folks, I think the boys are back. The Cowboys, since Emmitt Smith returned, are 2-0. This was his home debut at Texas Stadium. Carried the ball 13 times, 71 yards, and this.
Aikman cross right to Smith. There's the Johnson block. First down at the 20. The 15 he's gone. First touchdown of the year for Emmitt Smith. 22 yards for number 22.
Dallas wins this thing 36-14. Another big day for Troy Aikman. The Packers fall to 1-3. The Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Bucks at Tampa Stadium. Big rushing day for Reggie Cobb. Barry Sanders had more than he did, but Cobb and the Bucks won for the first time, 27-10. Chicago beat Atlanta 6-0. Lots of Falcons hurt in this one, the most seriously. Melvin Jenkins, who had a neck injury, he's at Northwestern Hospital awaiting an MRI tomorrow morning. Our fingers, of course, are crossed for him. In the AFC West, 4 teams are tied at the top with records of 2-1. 2 of those guys squared off at Arrowhead Stadium today, the Chiefs and the Raiders. Joe Montana threw a couple of touchdown passes, then got hurt. Dragged down by Aaron Wallace while he's out of bounds. Pulls the left hamstring. They're going to rest it for a few days, see how he feels midweek. A day-to-day situation for number 19. Marcus Allen facing his former mates, the Raiders, and it is against his old team that he scores his 100th career touchdown. 9th guy in history to do that. Al Davis had to be thrilled with that news. 24-9, Kansas City beats the Raiders. It was Denver 35-13 over Indianapolis. John Elway, 20 out of 30, 230 and 2 touchdowns. The Broncos are 3-1. Seattle and San Diego, that one goes to the Seahawks, 31-14. They have won 3 straight. And I tell you what, folks, the Chargers, here's the key to these guys. When they win, all they get is field goals. When they lose, they score touchdowns. So Rod Woodson of the Steelers can take a note. They face them next week. Let them score. He might pick up a W. We'll send it back to Rod Woodson, Bob Neal, Kevin Kiley in just a minute.
No matter how uncomfortable life may get, with ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom, at least your underwear will be comfortable.
Linda, will you?
They don't just look good. They're made to hug your body.
Linda?
To move with you. Some things are bound to make you uncomfortable. With ribbed whites,
Linda,
your underwear will never be one of them. Ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
Mary!
Come on, sweetheart!
Your first big snow, Joey. Here he comes.
Joey doesn't care that inside is the world's most energy-efficient furnace.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Or that Carrier can save up to 40% annually on heating.
Look at him. He loves it.
All he cares about is how warm and comfy Carrier keeps it inside.
Joe?
If you care about energy efficiency and saving money, call your Carrier dealer.
Turn the knob, Joey.
Carrier, we're the inside guys.
You probably have a good idea of what to do with old tires. But when you need new ones, no matter what you drive, it's a good idea to go to Pep Boys. They'll help you choose from a huge selection. Michelin, Uniroyal, BF Goodrich, and Cornell. And have you on your way in under an hour with a low price guarantee. So for tires that'll give you a lot of miles and then some, come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
So after trailing 10-0, the Giants come back to take a 14-10 lead at halftime here at Rich Stadium. The offense for the Buffalo Bills couldn't get anything going, but since we have a all-pro defensive back, Rod Woodson here as our guest analyst, let's take a look at another great all-pro kind of play made by Henry Jones
in the first half of play. And Rod, take us through this. Phil Simms on a 3rd down 1.
Well, he's dropping back. He's looking for a tight end, and he overthrew him just a tad bit. And Henry was right in the flat. He picked it off, and the first thing you do is trying to get the block on the receiver he threw it to. And a linebacker did that, and first of all, he's looking for open field. He finds the sidelines, and he has an array of blockers. And he just run down the field and having fun right now.
And that's something that's, of course, practiced. You might just mention that quickly. When he makes that pick, everybody has a role to play on the return.
Well, the first thing you're trying to do, you're trying to get the blocker or the receiver who the pass is intended for. And if you can do that, basically, you're on your own. You're looking for the closest and the nearest way to the goal line, that's straight up the field. And if you can get that and get a couple blocks, usually it's going for 6.
Now, Rod, the Giants lead the league in time of possession. They had the ball again the first half of this game. 20 minutes. They have a kind of a short, controlled passing game. It seems when they need yardage, 3rd down back like Dave Meggett is a marked man, and yet he always seems to get open. He had a catch for 22 yards in the middle of the first scoring drive. How does that guy get open?
He's very versatile. What happens is that he's a small guy. Sometimes he gets lost in that big offensive line they have. And right now, he's running a little scat route. And what's happening is that the backers he's losing his leverage on the guy. And once he loses the leverage on him, it's hard to catch him.
Rod Woodson, being the cornerback here, we always like to get an opportunity to get some personal insight. So I'm going to do a little word association game with you of AFC quarterbacks. Give me a line when I mention their names. Let's start with Dan Marino.
The fastest release in the game.
All right, Boomer Esiason.
The best play-action quarterback there is.
John Elway.
The strongest arm in the game.
Okay, Jim Kelly, whom we've seen here tonight.
Probably the best competitor in the game.
Bernie Kosar.
The most awkward quarterback you ever faced. Sorry, Bernie. Sorry, Bernie.
Bernie, but, you two guys aren't the best of dinner buddies anyway, being a defensive back and him being a quarterback. And finally, a new AFC quarterback, Joe Montana.
Probably the smartest. I think he understands his offense, he's in the systems, and he doesn't make a lot of bad plays.
All right, one final question. Toughest quarterback to face in the AFC?
Oh, it's so many of them. I couldn't give just one.
You don't want to give them any.
All up Neil, yes.
Exactly, Neil O'Donnell.
That's right.
Good call. Thanks, Kevin, for the help. That's Senator Kevin Kiley, always with a political answer. We'll be back after the game, by the way, with interviews with the players and highlights. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
Fruit of the Loom Halftime Report has been brought to you by Fruit of the Loom, clothes for the best of your life.
In 1987, the New York Giants won the Super Bowl. The offensive tackle for the Giants, Carl Nelson, helped to make that victory possible. But then a nagging shoulder injury had trainers asking for x-rays. They discovered not only an injury, but also a tumor. Over the years, Giants players have brought you the stories of how United Way helps people when tragedy strikes. We all remember those spots, but as a former Giant, the Carl Nelson spot was more than just a public service message to me. That was back in 1988, and I want you to meet Carl Nelson today. Carl?
That's right. I appreciate the support of the NFL and all the fans who have supported me over the years. The American Cancer Society and the United Way are working together in many communities to carry on the service that made it possible for me to be here today to tell you how important your support of the United Way is.
Now more than ever, the United Way. Helping where help is needed most.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives. And by Olympic Stain. Olympic protects wood beautifully.
The Giants, after trailing 10-0, have a halftime lead of 14-10, and it's time now for the Olympic Stain game summary. And you can see time of possession again in favor of the Giants. They lead the NFL, and they're certainly strong again tonight. And it's a game of quarters. As you can see, the Bills took the lead 10-0. That 85-yard interception return for a touchdown. And then the last two possessions, the Giants able to score.
Yeah, but the Bills' offense have not really been in sync. You see what happened with Jim Kelly, 3 of 9 and the 1 interception, and you look at Phil Simms, but you know, they have not been in sync. But one of the interesting stories, I think, Gary, it really has been Steve Tasker, the outstanding special teams player for the Bills. This is, you know, the quarterbacks, you put up their stats at halftime. They do the commercials. They have all the shows, the television shows. Then you play special teams, and you get hit by, I don't know, 12, 15 guys, including some of your own. This play's not over yet. I mean, the thing about Tasker, though, is he will not quit. But he will get hit a lot. But even then he'll come down and make some plays. No matter how much you block him, how long you block him, you still always worry about Steve Tasker. There he's trying to actually make it fumble. And then a little bit later in the game, he actually was illegally blocked in the back. They did not call the penalty. It should have been because he gets pushed in the back. But nonetheless, it's been an eventful first half for Steve Tasker.
It certainly has. See why a lot of people feel he's the finest special teams player of all time. 4 times to the Pro Bowl. Christie will kick off as we start the second half of play. Chris Callaway had a touchdown catch, and Dave Meggett back deep for Giants.
Kicking into that wind, I think now. I think it's still swirling.
I noticed you say I think.
Yeah, it is swirling.
And it knocks it down. It's quite obvious it's kicked into the wind. Here comes Meggett up to the 25. Meggett still on his feet to the 35. So Phil Simms will start with very good field position. The Giants seemingly were in the Bills' end of the field the entire second half. Or I should say second quarter. They started out with some problems, throwing that interception. And then look at the drives where they started. 33-yard line. 5 times they're in the Bills' end of the field, scoring on the last 2. First down from the 35. Hampton of the backfield. Crossing pattern intended for Sherrard, and that'll bring up second down 10. Sherrard backed up Jerry Rice, played with John Taylor in San Francisco, and really groomed him becoming a starter for New York.
Gary, just finishing the Tasker story. I mean, this is why you don't want to go down and make on the kickoff team. When you knock them down, you tackle them, you sit on them, you lay on them. It's not enough for one guy to lay on them. You got to have 2 Giants laying on them.
What is it for a pin or a takedown? I'm not sure what they got there.
3 points.
Second down, 10 from the 35. Simms with time, and the ball to the near side, incomplete. Diving attempt by Sherrard. Nate Odom's defending on the play. It's third down. Third down 10 for the Giants. Simms in the first half was 9 of 14, as we mentioned, the 2 touchdowns and the interception.
Now, Dan Reeves really is one of the coaches most concerned about opening drives at the beginning of the game, end of the half. And right now they face 3rd and 10 because he thinks you can't have 3 and out on an opening drive.
You can see they're at 50% on 3rd downs thus far. And some movement, some contact made along the line of scrimmage. Looked like Mike Lodish came across. Let's see if he was drawn off. Everything stopped.
That's a smart play.
Ball starts before the snap. Quarterback. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 15 yards to go.
Yeah, they're getting, you know, Phil Simms was trying to draw him off the sides with his cadence, and I think they got him for a head bob. Most quarterbacks will do this on 3rd downs, going to hard count, see how Wade moved his head. Most of the time they'll call that on defense, but occasionally they'll give the quarterback the call, and they did it there on Simms.
One thing the Giants are doing is they're alternating centers. Bart Oates started, but they also use Brian Williams. Use him for 20 to 25 snaps. 3rd and 15. Comes it off to Meggett. Meggett, the open field, running away from Henry Jones, trying to get the first down. He dives, and I think he got it. He got it.
That is an incredible play by Meggett. I mean, he caught that ball at 4 yards, and really he beat Henry Jones, I think one of the superb defensive backs in the league. I mean, it was just a little 4-yard delay pass out of the backfield. I mean, watch it right here. He's just going to kind of hang in here, drift out here, and then outrun people to the outside. I mean, again, that's Henry Jones, number 20. He returned the interception for a touchdown, knew exactly where the marker was, and got the ball across it. Now, those are the kind of plays they're going to win football games for you in the course of a season.
They have a clock correction right now, but Meggett knew exactly where he needed to go to get that first down. So aware, a 15-yard gain on the play. Jackson comes in motion. Hampton stays on his feet. Good second effort, and he's into the Bills, into the field at the 49-yard line. Shows you how strong he is. Darryl Talley eventually made the tackle.
Yeah, Gary, good things will happen for a running back if they keep their legs moving. And Rodney Hampton did there. I mean, this is 225 pounds of running back coming at you. Even if you're Bruce Smith, you're going to miss him from time to time. Then he runs through Talley.
And as an end result, it's 2nd and 4 from the 49 of Buffalo. Jackson comes in motion. Hampton diving forward. He's not going to get the first down. It'll bring up the 3rd down. Kind of tripped up that time, a little disgusted with himself. Jeff Wright, who's been on a lot of tackles in this game, again, credited with that one. It's 3rd down and a long 2 to go.
Jeff Wright has made a lot of tackles. Marcus Patton, the inside linebacker, made 10 tackles in the first half for the Bills. I mean, the defense, although they've given up the 2 touchdowns, it's been on a short field. They've played pretty well tonight.
And they had the big play defensively, an 85-yard return.
Confusion there in the defensive line on the short down play.
Bruce Smith with some pressure. They knock it off. Sims on his safety release, gets it off to Rodney Hampton, and he's got the first down. Again, Sims just rock solid. He'll stay in the pocket. He'll stay in the pocket and found somebody to get the first down.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw Rodney Hampton, Gary, too. You're right about Sims, but he was clapping and screaming at Sims to throw him the ball. Number 27 on the far side. When Sims is looking downfield, great protection, though. He's clapping for the ball, throw me the ball, and I'll pick up the first down. And that's exactly what he did. That was superb protection.
Give Jumbo Elliott credit for knocking off the rush of Bruce Smith. Here is Hampton fighting his way inside the 40-yard line to the 39. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go.
Good offensive teams have leaders in the offensive line. And as we said earlier, Gary, if you find good offensive linemen, you have generally a pretty good offense. We've seen that from the Giants tonight. You know, much was made about their first 3 wins over uneven opponents at best, I guess. None of those teams they beat will be in the Super Bowl. Tonight, their first reality check, and this offensive line has been equal to the task.
2nd and 8. Sims waiting for somebody to clear it. It was Aaron Pierce, and Pierce fumbles the ball. And the Bills have it at the 19-yard line. It's Mark Kelso who comes up with it.
Turnovers. Dan Reeves talked about it. If we don't turn the ball over, we're very difficult to beat. But they've thrown an interception, and now the fumble. Perfect protection again. Hangs in the pocket, a beautiful throw. The hit by a hustling Darryl Talley set up the recovery by Mark Kelso. 2 turnovers for New York tonight.
Hey! That doesn't miss.
If I may, the Canine Academy is conveniently located. We train show dogs. No! Dealing with destructive behavior is our forte.
Sit down, you little puppy!
The 9X Yellow Pages. It's surprising what the ads can tell you.
I'm not only the Academy president, I'm also a client.
Well, those boys from the airline came back. Said they were going to introduce these new flights with really low prices. No restrictions. Gonna call them Peanuts fares. Said they needed my peanuts. Get it?
Introducing Continental Airlines' new Peanuts fares. Super low fares to 6 cities. No restrictions. All fully refundable. All the time. Fly for peanuts. Only on Continental.
If you want to be in a position of power, then get behind the wheel of a 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee V8 with a powerful 220 horsepower engine, 6,500-pound towing capacity, standard driver's side airbag, and four-wheel anti-lock brakes. It lets you command power in any situation. The Jeep Grand Cherokee V8. The only thing more powerful is the savings.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited.
Going to change a mask for the Bills. Gary Bender along with Pat Hayden as we have 11:28 left to go in the third. Dave Meggett getting some stretching in. Looked like earlier they were working on his back after he made that brilliant catch and run for 15 yards. But after the fumble, the Bills have it now at their own 19-yard line.
Yeah, you get Dave Meggett working, and you get Rodney Hampton working, and you give Phil Simms some protection. You're a pretty good offensive football team.
Pat, if you're out of sync and you're Jim Kelly and you're calling your own plays, he's got to be very frustrated. You know, he's completed only one of his last 5 passes.
Yeah, I think we talked about it really starting with Thurman Thomas. And if they're going to get back in sync, they need a drive more than anything else right now, Gary. They need a drive, even if they don't score.
Which means that both teams must not use phones until service is restored.
So one of the team's headphones are out, so they've asked the other team, and they've turned them off. They are unable to use theirs to make it an even ball game. But Gary, just following up to get back into rhythm, I think they need a drive, and they need to get the ball to Thurman Thomas on a screen, on a run.
Maybe it's a good thing Kelly is calling his own plays. They don't have headphones anymore. Are they working again? We understand. Well, they better tell the other guys to go on then, right?
The home field advantage,
right?
Home field.
That's right. There's the time remaining. The Bills have the ball now to 19. 14-10. New York. Blitz is coming. Thurman Thomas, the guy Pat says they got to get started up to the 25, and that may be what they needed. They're going to mark it at the 28-yard line, a couple of yards short of the first down, a gain of 8.
Get him the ball on some runs. Throw him a screen. I mean, when the Bills were really hot last year, I mean, it really started with Thurman Thomas. You know, they've got great weapons. They haven't gotten the ball to Andre Reed.
No, and he didn't have a catch last week. He's had 1 catch the last 2 games coming in here. And there's a handoff trying to get the first down, and that was not easy. They need to get to the 30 as Jesse Armstead, the rookie from Miami, made the stop, but it's a first down. Thurman Thomas picking it up.
And that's the first goal. Get a first down. No 3 and outs.
Bills led it 10-0 after 1 quarter. Now down 14-10. Pete Metzelaars. And Metzelaars has a first down to the 45. He's been nagged by injuries all year long. That'll be a 15-yard catch for the 6'7" former basketball standout.
You know, he's a guy who had a big year a year ago as a receiver, but that's his first catch tonight. You know, we talked about not getting the ball to Andre Reed. I don't think BB's had a catch either.
Goes for 5. So now starting to stabilize a little bit for the Bills. Carlton Bailey made the stop. And the Bills now at the midfield stripe.
And the Giant defense now has to try to break the rhythm. Maybe it is a blitz, a linebacker blitz or a safety blitz to get them out of that rhythm.
Approaching 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. They go to the 3 wideouts, and Thomas sets the K-gun on fencing formation. Thomas, nice stop shot. Look at this run. Boy, that was vintage Thurman Thomas, and that's enough for a first down. He puts some moves on.
You know, it's a stop, it's a start, it's a go sideways, it's a never at rest runner. And there's some commas in between those things, but, I mean, his eyes tell him where to go, and then the feet take him there. I mean, he and Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith had the great ability to run sideways as well as forward.
83 yards for Thurman on 16 carries. Over the middle, Andre Reed. So Reed catches the first ball of the night. They're going to mark the ball inside the 40-yard line. Reed suffered a pinched nerve in his rotator cuff in that loss last week against Miami.
And he just took a shot there, I think, from Michael Brooks, the inside linebacker for the Giants.
Kenneth Davis now is coming to the backfield, replacing Thomas. 2nd down and 4. The blitz, and they mistimed that one. Carlton Bailey had come across the line.
But, you know, that's a good call. It was mistimed, but, again, trying to break the rhythm of this offense.
Start before the snap, number 70, offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
It's LT moving around, number 70, Fina. They call it on.
Charge forward, causing number 70 to flinch back. The defense is warned that further action will be called against them.
Okay. In control of this game.
Yes, sir.
First smile of Dan Reeves.
I think Gordon McCarter's had a lot of explanations tonight, hasn't he? So now it's going to be 2nd down and 9 after that 5-yard penalty. Here comes Kenneth Davis, maybe the best backup in the NFL. Backup to Thurman Thomas. Carlton Bailey over to make the stop. 3rd down.
You know, I think Kenneth Davis had more yards running last year than 7 starting tailbacks around the league, starting running backs. So,
and they say he never complains.
No. He gives you maximum effort when he's in there.
3rd down, 4 yards to go. Kelly, a missile wide. Did he hang on? No, he bobbled it. Incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
And that's a big drop, and Pete Metzelaars knows it, because his team fighting desperately to get back into sync, into rhythm. They had something going for the first time. A well-thrown ball by Kelly that should have been caught, and it would have been a 1st down.
So Chris Moore will come in and punt the football at the 8:16 mark. 14-10, the Giants of the lead. Make it back to the 10. Very high. Tasker's down there. Can he kill it? A little basketball jump, and they got it done. And give credit that time to Mark Pike. They're all together and kept it in the field of play. It'll be marked at the 1-yard line. There's Pike. He and Tasker are 2 of the better special teams players in the NFL.
Best Buy for import sport utility vehicles by Motor Trend magazine in 1991. And again in 92. And yet again in 93. Now, we're not complaining. But we don't know how much more of this we can take. The Isuzu Rodeo. Practically amazing.
Nature can be devastating to wood. All-purpose water sealer's waterproof. So does Olympic WaterGuard for wood. But only Olympic has sunblock protection to fight sun damage. Plus resists mildew and has penetrating linseed oil to strengthen wood fibers. Olympic WaterGuard with 4-way wood protection, because wood needs more than an all-purpose water sealer.
Sunday night NFL on TNT. On one side of the tracks, a crafty engineer. On the other side, Reggie White, the trade. Broncos, Packers. Next Sunday night on TNT. Sunday night!
The Giants at the 1. Let's listen now.
And they're just talking about being backed up. You're backed up on the 1.
And so from the 1, the Bills were there in the first half. Sims trying to get it out. Jackson in motion. Hampton.
Look at this effort by Hampton. They try to tackle the ball, and he hangs on to it. Shows you how strong he is. Bruce Smith tackled he and the ball, and he got it out to about the 5-yard line.
You know, and they said they said you had to tackle him in the chest. I'm talking about Rodney Hampton. But even when you do that, I mean, he runs right through a nose tackle. Now, Wright weighs 270 pounds. Then he runs through Bruce Smith, the left arm of Bruce Smith. That's a powerful run by Hampton.
2nd and 5 from the 5. Hampton again, and Hampton keeps fighting, and he's going to get the first down. They're very close to it on sheer determination. He just kept moving the pile, and what a valuable running back to have when you start from your own 1-yard line.
You know, Hampton can get you 5 extra yards by doing a couple things. Breaking tackles, as we saw on the first time. Second time is just moving the pile.
Wow.
I mean, those are very tough yards and critical yards when your team is only leading by 4 points and you're playing away from home. Those are 2 great runs.
First down now at the 14. Hampton going wide this time. Tries to cut it back. The blue shirts are there. Pretty good reaction that time. Patton was over there.
Patton's had a big game. We talked about him having 10 tackles in the first half, and yesterday he was saying that I read both guards to the back. I read kind of a triangle to try to find out where Rodney Hampton's going to go. I look at the guards, and the guards usually tell me where Hampton's going to end up.
He was a walk-on at UCLA, and he was encouraged by Mike Sherrard at UCLA, who was a walk-on 3 years before him. So a gain of 2, 2nd down 8. Gordon McCarter getting his clock ready to go again. Kenyon Rashid in the backfield with Hampton. On a 2nd and 8. Sims intended for Cross. He got a hand on it. Nate Odoms defending on the play for the Bills. Cross is a big target at 6'5", and Sims got powdered at the end of this one.
You know, old Jerry Quarry is going to take one here, right in the chops. And I think this is the biggest. I mean, the Giants appeared certainly an improved team and a pretty good team, Gary. The biggest soft spot the Giants have is if that man is injured, they don't have an experienced backup. They can't win if Phil Sims is not in there.
3rd down and 8. The Giants 6 of 10 on 3rd down. Sims, far sideline, diving attempt out of bounds, though. On the far side was Callaway, who caught the touchdown pass in the first half. It's 4th down.
In or out of bounds, that was still a heck of a catch by Chris Callaway. I mean, this is just a beautiful catch, regardless of the fact that he does come down out of bounds. Man, I know how to knock the wind out of you, too.
Landeta to punt. Ball not hit all that well, and it's going to take a Giant bounce. Let's see where they're going to mark it. They're going to mark it at the 47-yard line of Buffalo. 38-yard punt. 14-10, the Giants. 5:56 to go in this 3rd quarter. There is a penalty flag at the 42. Let's check this one out. Clear on the far side of the field.
Say, Gordon's been busy today,
yes,
hasn't he?
He has.
Say one thing, he's gotten them straight, though. He's taking his time, gotten them straight.
Well, Landeta didn't really hit that ball all that well, but again, it's so hard to know what he's got. The wind behind him and his face sideways, maybe all of the above.
I was talking to Chris Moore, the punter of the Bills, saying when it's windy out here, he has 3 different drops to the punts, just kind of depending on what the wind conditions are. There he is. I mean, if he's kicking into the wind, he'll keep the nose down. If it's real gusty, he'll punt it right off his foot. And very proud of the fact the other day that he's never made a tackle.
You know, as I thought was interesting, the longest return against him, 17 yards.
Yeah, that is pretty remarkable. He punts it high.
He is a hang time, team type punter.
A what?
Hang time, team time.
There is no infraction. There's no illegal block on the play.
Well, they're going to pick the flag up.
We were trying to go to commercial.
Dan Reese says, what?
We get another chance. We're going to get another chance, Gary.
We're going to go right now.
We'll be back. The Giants by 4.
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Get this Napa Power Battery for just $29.99 after rebate. An Evercraft 30-piece socket set is just $14.99. And a 3-pack of STP gas treatment is a low $1.99. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
He's in Manhattan on Wednesday, Frankfurt on Thursday, Paris, Rome, and Vienna after that. He believes it's better to do business across a table than over a fax machine. This year, he'll fly more than 100,000 miles with us because he knows nobody understands him better than we do. At Delta, when we say we love to fly and it shows, this is where it shows.
The Isuzu Rodeo was voted Best Buy for import sport utility vehicles by Motor Trend magazine in 1991. And again in 92. And yet again in 93. Now, we're not complaining. But we don't know how much more of this we can take. The Isuzu Rodeo. Practically amazing.
Dan Reeves still upset they picked up that flag. Pat, in the second quarter, it was the Giants with all the field position. In this third stanza, the Bills now starting to establish that.
Yeah, and they need that right now because, again, this offense is still not quite in rhythm yet. You know, they're still having some problems. So this is their best opportunity to really go in the lead or certainly cut the lead down of the Giants. And they've only gotten one ball to Andre Reed. He's a guy they have to get more involved. We talked about Thurman Thomas, but they just aren't spreading it around like they ordinarily do.
On that last punt, J.D. Williams hurt himself. I should say last pass play to Callaway, and he was being looked at. We'll try to get a status report on him. It looked like it could have been an ankle. We have a penalty flag here as the Bills start this drive with 5:50 now left in the third quarter. Holding. That'll bring it back 10 yards. I notice now Glenn Parker is playing right guard. He and John Davis would alternate at right guard. Davis got the starting call because Marv Levy said he had a higher grade in the last game. So there's Richer along with Parker up at the guard spots.
How long do you think it takes Richer to get all that stuff off?
Repeat first down.
Huh? That's a lot of pads though Richard's got on there.
That's the 6th penalty against Buffalo. 1st and 20 now from the 37-yard line. Keith Hamilton. And Hamilton falls forward. The second-year man from Pittsburgh levels Kelly, and Kelly is getting up a little slowly, and you can understand why.
Yeah, Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator of the Giants, said about Keith Hamilton, hey, he's really played the run well for us this year. But we want him to get more involved in the pass rush. He's number 75, who's going to come there from the right part of the screen. And what he's got to do is just use his hands more. If he uses his hands, he can rush the pass.
Third sack of the night. That ball was trapped, incomplete, on a 2nd and 27. Now, the last game, the Bills had Kelly sacked 3 times and 3 tonight. So that is now for the season 11. Join us next Sunday. John Elway and the Denver Broncos, Dan Reeves' old team, travel to Green Bay and Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. The Silver Bullet Stadium show will kick off at 7:30 Eastern. Well, the great sight is Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Kelly on the run, and he threw that one away, and pressure coming. Go back to 7 o'clock Eastern for that game as it all starts with the Silver Bullet Stadium show. And 4th down now coming up.
Okay, this Giant defense, ranked number 1 coming into tonight's game, have really played well.
Kelly now 5 of 14, Pat, for 61 yards.
Yeah, you know, this Giant defense has only given up a field goal tonight. Touchdown was scored on an interception.
Time out here, guys.
Moore, line drives it. Meggett from the 25. Meggett has made a difference in this football game. Brings it out to the 32. 8-yard return, 46-yard punt. So the Giants, who have been backed up with bad field position, still maintaining their 4-point lead.
Saturday, tango. Great. Bye.
Dance. We are Bianca.
And Benny.
Master the passion of the tango. The cha-cha-cha.
Bianca and I started on Broadway in 1950.
Benny, we teach all levels.
That was the original production of Coco Loco.
No partner necessary. You'll be tangoing tomorrow.
The 9X Yellow Pages. It's surprising what the ads can tell you.
I taught all the stars.
Benny.
These remarkable women have a few things in common. They're dedicated. They're concerned with eating properly. They're each a world champion in their respective sport. And they all drink milk with energy and 15 essential nutrients as part of a balanced diet. 5 women, all world champions. Makes you wonder what the guys are drinking, doesn't it?
Are you ready for some football?
Don't you miss it this time. Are you ready for some football? The Buffalo Bills set out to drill the Houston Oilers again Monday, October 11th.
There's only one place to turn. ABC's Monday Night Football.
Good seats still available. Reserve yours today. Call 649-0015. Get ready for some great football Monday, October 11th.
Followed by Eyewitness News on News Channel 7, your hometown team.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta, back to Rich Stadium in just a couple of seconds. First, it's time for the Isuzu play of the day, and it comes from the Eagles-Jets game at the Meadowlands. And it comes from Eric Allen of Philadelphia, who picks off the Boomer Esiason pass. And folks, this play takes so long, we got to crank it up just to fit it into the allotted time slot. He's going 94 yards for the game-winning touchdown for the Eagles. Eric Allen makes the Isuzu practically amazing play of the day. Now back to Gary and Pat.
Boy, Ernie, what a game that was. Hey, have helmet will work.
Yeah, it's like a lunch pail. Doubles as your lunch box and your helmet.
From the 32, Sims starts over the middle and intercepted on the deflection. Patton comes up with it. And Patton brings it to the 45-yard line.
You know, when the Bills struggle, a lot of times Steve Tasker on the special teams do it. And sometimes your defense has to do it. This time, it's Marcus Patton, who has played marvelously tonight. First in the run game, and now in the passing game. I mean, that's a heads-up play and a nice catch and a nice adjustment by Patton. And giving Jim Kelly another chance, another opportunity. And you know when your team is struggling, your offensive team is struggling, defense has to make a play, and Patton just did it.
They say pound for pound, he's the strongest guy on this football team. That's 3 turnovers now by New York.
How strong does that make him, Gary?
Very, very strong. Here's Thurman Thomas. He gets to the 50-yard line. A gain of 2, second down and 8. Carlton Bailey made the stop. So the Giants keep handing the ball to the Bills, and the Bills have got to capitalize on it.
Yeah, and how are they going to get the ball now to Andre Reed? They've tried Thurman Thomas. He's been taken away pretty much, but give Reed a chance.
Kelly dumps it off instead to Thurman Thomas, gets away from Carlton Bailey, and has the first down. Carlton Bailey missed him on the flat on the far side, and eventually Greg Jackson made the tackle, and Thomas is down, getting up very slowly.
Thurman Thomas is a great screen pass runner. And he's great because he's patient. He doesn't rush himself. Lets people set it up. Now, the offensive lineman didn't really knock anybody down, so he made most of that, virtually all of that, on his own. That's the definition of a good screen runner.
Here's Thomas, picked himself up and starts running again inside the 40 to the 39. Gain of 3. It'll bring up second down.
There's a couple of things that Dan Reeves has changed with this Giant team. We talked about speed at wide receiver, but a lot of youth on this defensive team, Gary. They were an aging defensive team a year ago. But right now, particularly up front, other than Lawrence Taylor, this is a young and stout defense.
And a defense that plays so well together, so well coordinated. Second down, 7. Kelly is going to be dropped again in a very vulnerable position there as his legs were pinned, awkwardly was knocked down. Well, that's where you can get hurt. As that will be the 4th sack tonight by the Giants. Mike Fox was one of those there, number 93.
Yeah, it really started with some coverage because he had some initial time early on, But then Fox, who's mostly a run stopper, just keeps fighting and clawing and gets his paws around his legs.
Second sack of the year for Fox. Kelly back. Dumps it off to Andre Reed. Reed puts it away to the 35, to the 32. He's going to be short of the first down. It was third and a long ways. Third and 17. They got 15 of it back. And it's fourth down, and the crowd wanting to go for it.
You know, even those third and 17, you give Andre Reed a chance to run after the catch. And sometimes good things happen. And they are going for it on 4th and 2.
Yep, here they go, 4th and 2. And they're able to get it as Kenneth Davis, the backup, comes in and bolts inside the 30. First down, Buffalo.
Yeah, he's no ordinary backup because you don't give a backup the ball on 4th and 2 when your team is trailing by 4 points.
That's what you're talking about earlier, outgaining all those running backs starting for 7 other teams. First down inside the 30. They're picking up the tempo. Now, the ball is loose inside the 25. The Giants say they have it. And underneath all of that, it appears to be Corey Miller, number 57, the linebacker for New York. Second turnover for Buffalo to go with the 3 that the Giants have committed here tonight. So after that excellent run, Davis coughs the ball up.
And I think it was Keith Hamilton, number 75, who strips him. Hamilton made the sack a little bit earlier, makes the strip there. His teammate Corey Miller is there to make the play, and that's one of the reasons this Giant defense is ranked number 1.
The Isuzu Rodeo was voted Best Buy for import sport utility vehicles by Motor Trend magazine in 1991. And again in 92. And yet again in 93. Now, we're not complaining, but we don't know how much more of this we can take. The Isuzu Rodeo, practically amazing.
Your deck versus nature. Your deck versus Nathan. Only one stain protects against both with Scuff Guard formula. For all kinds of nature and all kinds of Nathans. No house stain protects and beautifies like Olympic deck stain. Olympic, the only one.
Some brewers look out their windows and see skyscrapers. Some don't.
The Bills suffer their second turnover of the game. The Giants have it, and they have a 14-10 lead, and tonight it's an all-out war when the Cons and the Guards square off in a prison football game. Burt Reynolds stars in The Longest Yard, coming up after the Holiday Inn Stadium show.
I got the Cons in 3.
You fit in well. From the 24-yard line, Sims to start the drive. To Hampton. Will be dropped at the 25, a gain of a yard. Cornelius Bennett, we haven't called his name very much, able to ride him down there.
The thing about Rodney Hampton, now he is over 300 carries consecutively without a fumble. I mean, there's been some turnovers tonight, 5 in all, both teams. When you give the ball to Rodney Hampton and your team is leading by 4 points and you're trying to be methodical and use the clock, I mean, that's another great thing he does. He doesn't fumble the ball.
Second and 9, Hampton again. Hampton takes it inside and goes back outside and gets to the 32. He'll be short of the first down by some 3 yards.
Now, we have seen Rodney Hampton move the pile. We have seen him break tackles. That time, he put a nice little move on Darryl Talley. He faked inside, came outside, and got to the outside for a nice little gain. I mean, this is a very impressive back, really coming into his own.
We have an official down right now. That's what the hold up is right now. John Schleier, who is the head linesman, and that's what the hold up is about, as we have 1:27 left in this third quarter. And so he's directly in front of the Bills bench, and there you can see him. So the Giants hanging on to this 4-point lead, as we'll go back and look and see how the man in the striped shirt was hurt.
You know, watch Rodney Hampton, too, here. Talk about the way he's going to fake out Talley. They move inside, and then he breaks outside, and there's just a lot of big old bodies in traffic, and then they run into the side judge.
You don't see it on that replay, but he was on the near sideline, and so we have a stoppage right now. Up and moving around. That's good to see.
I'm amazed these guys actually don't get hurt more. I mean, there are a lot of bodies flying around, particularly umpires, you know, who stand right behind right where the linebackers do on defense. And side guys usually can get out of the way. The side judges and head linesmen. Happy to accept that report.
I think Gordon does explain what's going on, doesn't he?
Oh, man. He's got to be a lawyer.
I hope he doesn't charge what you do, though, per minute. Third down and 3 now.
He's worth it
for the Giants.
Big down here for the Buffalo Bill defense.
Delayed handoff to Meggett, and the Bills are there. It'll be 4th down.
Meggett had done it for them before, picked up some very important third downs, one on a run, but that time, once again, Jeff Wright, the nose tackle, did his job and stopped the little scat back Dave Meggett.
47 seconds left in the third as Landeta will punt. Russell Copeland back deep for the Bills. Oh, he got this one. Copeland backing up to 22. Tackle from behind. That's Willie Beeman. Beeman has seemingly been all over the place on special teams. And this time for the backside, caught up with him.
Remember, the other guy used to wear number 21 for the Giants, Renee Thompson, who was a great special teams player. It looks like Beeman is... There may be something in that number that makes you a great special teams player with the Giants.
Renee Thompson now playing for Bill Parcells in New England.
I don't think Copeland has any chance because he doesn't see him, but he really came off the corner. And, you know, you need guys like that on special teams, the young guys with the fresh legs contributing. Both these teams have those kinds of guys on their special teams.
Rookie free agent from Northern Iowa. Handoff to Thomas. Thomas across the 30 to the 32, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down 7. Carlton Bailey made a lot of tackles, makes another.
Gary, as I watch this Bills team trying to get back in sync, you know, one thing is they're not throwing the ball downfield much. You know, they're running the ball, they're throwing some screens, they're dinking the ball, but there really is no vertical part of their passing game, and they're not threatening anybody deep.
7 seconds left in the quarter. Over the middle. Catch is made. It'll be short of the first down. Good hit that time. Coming up was Guyton. Metzelars will be stopped short of the first down. We come to the end of the third quarter. 14-10. The Giants with the lead here in Rich Stadium.
Hold on. I don't just overnight the package.
Yeah, sure. Overnight. Might as well overnight it.
Overnight this.
Overnight that.
Overnight.
Sometimes overnight is overkill. So kick the habit with priority mail from the Postal Service. It's not overnight, but it's fast delivery, special handling, and 2 pounds is only $2.90.
Morning. Thanks.
When overnight is overdoing it, remember, we deliver for you. Call and we'll start today.
For all of you with the courage to go it alone, to put your future on the line and your name on the door, there's the corporate card from American Express. Use it for all your business expenses. We'll organize them by category and even provide records of charges. It's a great way for any company to get a handle on costs. Call 1-800-SUCCESS. The corporate card to your success.
Small town.
That's where my customers
are. Every day, important business takes place in towns all across the country. And every day, we're a part of it. We're in hundreds of towns like Opelika, Walnut, Oak.
The Northwest Southeast is my territory.
Who would know better than Holiday Inn how to make your small town and big town meetings a big success?
Welcoming.
Just like the town I was born in.
Just like the town I was born in.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Well, we mentioned James Williams, J.D. Williams, sprained an ankle. He's headed into the locker room, but that's not all.
Yeah, a lot of work on the sidelines as Wright gets his elbow taped up. Marcus Patton getting stretched, getting his groins and things worked on. I mean, trainers have a full night tonight.
Yep. And we have a full quarter to go. 3rd down and 2 now for the Bills as we start the 4th quarter. 14-10, New York. Thomas in the backfield. The blitz coming, everyone coming on this play.
But Gary, we talked about the Bills not getting the ball downfield. I mean, we'll finish this thought after we hear from Gordon.
Ball start before the snap. Number 51 offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Got the lunch bucket in the way. But, you know, they're not getting the ball. They're not stretching the team. You see that? The longest pass reception, 22 yards by Beebe. But Reed's only caught 2 balls. Brooks, Beebe, who's a starter.
Those just aren't Buffalo Bill numbers, are they?
Now, part of it, obviously, the Giants have maintained possession. But if the Bills are going to win this football game, I believe you're going to have to give those guys a chance downfield.
15 minutes. This is the first play of the 4th quarter. 15. Thank you.
15 seconds. They're going to run it down. There's now 7th penalty of the game against Buffalo. That makes it 3rd and 7.
Gordon's shooting for his own series here.
On the blitz, Kelly gets rid of it, reads a hot receiver, and incomplete. He had the right man, Brooks, but it'll bring up the 4th down.
Tough catch. Clearly a tough catch for a Bill Brooks behind him, but when things are going right and you're in sync, you make those kind of catches. But the Bills have not been really all year.
Chris Moore to punt the football, standing inside the 20. Make it back for the Giants. He hit this one very high. Meggett backing up, has it at the 15. And Meggett will be dropped at the 17-yard line. That was Tasker flying down there. Pike was also there. A 54-yard punt, a 3-yard return. And Lawrence Taylor obviously in some pain. His team leading by 4.
You want a jam? Get new Nestle Crunch Jammin' Bars. Rip into rock, unwrap the wrap, jazz, and reggae. Collect all 12 Nestle Crunch Jammin' designs. You want a jam? Get new Nestle Crunch Jammin' Bars.
The standard set by the federal government requires that a car with 2 airbags must help protect 2 passengers, ignoring the center seat passenger. The higher standard in the all-new DeVille by Cadillac, an air bank system which provides supplemental protection for not 1, not 2, but all 3 front seat passengers. The air bank system in the new V8-powered DeVille by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
It was fascination, I know. And it might have ended right then at the start. Just a passing glance, just a brief romance. Fascination turned to love. Airbag, seat belts, and anti-lock brakes. Child safety seats, careful driving, and a set of Michelins.
All right, a 14-10 New York Giants lead. I'm here in the Buffalo end zone with about 10,000 of my closest friends. We invite you to join Rod Woodson and Kevin Kiley and myself right after for the stadium show. We'll update you on the injured quarterbacks, Cunningham and Montana, and have a whole lot more.
Okay, Bob, we have 14:45 left in this one. Line of scrimmage, the 17 for the Giants. Hampton trying to get wide. And it's not going to be there because Nate Odom fills very well from that right cornerback spot. They got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
One of the reasons the Giants are leading by 4 points as we head into this fourth quarter, Gary, Rodney Hampton now has 31 carries for about 90 yards. Now, the New York is only, you see the 31 rushes, New York has only run 56 plays. So he has been the guy, they said, if he can run the ball with Rodney Hampton, we have a chance of winning the game.
He's 10 off of what he had the last game, 41. Delayed handoff, and Hampton is stormed down. That was Oliver Barnett, who they picked up from the Atlanta Falcons, a former third-round draft pick of the Falcons, playing in place of the injured Phil Hansen.
Yeah, and I think Hampton was hurt on that play, and you can see why, because he takes a shot, and he goes back on his ankle and his knee.
And he's walking slowly off on the far side. Lewis Tillman and Dave Meggett come into the backfield.
Okay, here's a situation for Phil Simms, and he's a 15-year quarterback. He knows on third and what is it, about 14?
Third and 14.
Your team's leading by 4. Don't take a sack and no interceptions.
And the Buffalo Bill fans are on their feet, and Simms asks for a timeout. He has 2 remaining now with 13-19 left in the game. And the crowd, sensing something here, like a frenzy, was getting on their feet. After you talked about his durability, all of a sudden, he is human anyway. You think about the punishment this man has been taking.
Well, 2 thoughts about the timeout that the Giants just took, Gary. One is, you know, you hate to burn a timeout in a close ball game with still almost the entire fourth quarter remaining because you may need it to run a 2-minute drill to win the football game. On the other hand, I mean, you're backed into the opponent's end zone, and you don't want to make a mistake here. And we talked about no sacks, clearly no turnovers. You know, maybe this is an opportunity to give Dave Meggett the ball on a draw and hope that he might make some magic happen.
Well, they need 14 yards. It's a 3rd down. Now, Tillman and Meggett are leaving the ball game. They've made a change. Aaron Pierce has come in at H-back. Pierce and Kenyon Rashid are in the backfield. Third and 14. Pressure coming. Simms gets rid of it and throws it away. We have backside pressure from Bruce Smith, who was trying to close on him, and Smith is kind of getting up like he's hurt himself. Boy, he was coming on the backside, and Simms sensed it and got rid of it.
I tell you, top side, the pressure there from Bruce Smith against Jumbo Elliott. I mean, he just comes around that corner so fast and just hits the turf. Thought he had a chance of getting back and getting Phil Simms, but Simms gets rid of it.
Tasker came after Landetta, but he got it underway. Russell Copeland back, takes it inside the 40. To the 45, the leading punt returner in the NFL is hammered backwards at the 47. Big hit by Jesse Campbell, number 37. So the Bills have good field position. Their own 47. 13:03 to go, and they trail by 4.
There's a lot of great things about Builder Square, but you know what I like best?
Too busy? We can install.
Help finds you, not the other way around. Comes in 8 styles.
Computer match any color.
Need any help?
Nah.
Builder Square, the warehouse with everything for your house.
Everything about the new Chrysler New Yorker seems to awe the automotive press. The revolutionary cab-forward design, the 24-valve V6 engine, even the price, under $26,000. And what do we have to say about it? Chrysler New Yorker, the American luxury car, is now in the fast lane at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
a great day for a newscast in Western New York. And here's the lineup for Eyewitness News at 5, your hometown team.
Right you are, Larry, and leading off will be Keith Radford with the top stories.
He looks confident today.
And who wouldn't be when your teammates are Kathleen Layton with even more news and extras.
John Murphy with sports.
And Linda Pellegrino with the latest AccuWeather forecast.
Yep, no one can match the all-star lineup of Eyewitness News at 5.
Your hometown team.
On TNT, it's football the Burt Reynolds way. Down and dirty. It ain't pretty, but when the inmates take on the guards, it's every man for himself. The longest yard. After the NFL on TNT.
The Bills down by 4, have it at the 47. The Giants defensively right now do not have Lawrence Taylor in the lineup. Play action by Kelly to Metzelaars. The Metzelaars dropped at the 49 by Mark Collins. There is LT, and doesn't look like he's going to be coming back anytime soon.
You know, earlier we called him an icon, an image of what football is about, toughness, you know, the will to win, the relentlessness of him, and he can still play.
Line of scrimmage, they'll mark it at the 48, second down and 5. Kelly double pumping and able to make the connection to Metzelaars.
But Gary, you know, still, everything's a dink. Nothing to stretch the defense. Nothing downfield.
2 yards short of the first down, third down coming up.
I mean, this is the same kind of thing against Miami. They really didn't stretch the defense at all.
Again, the Giants getting the best of the time of possession. And Thomas has got the first down to the 41 of the Giants.
Now, it is a 4-point game. The Giants lead by 4, about 12 minutes remaining in this game, and so obviously they're thinking about touchdown here to go in the lead. And as we said early, Jim Kelly can play badly and come back and beat you.
We have an offside against New York. Now, would they take the penalty for the 5 yards, or did they gain more to pick up the first down? It's very close. It was a third down and 2. They may get about a yard more with the penalty, I think.
Offside, defense lining up in the neutral zone. The 5-yard penalty increases the yardage slightly. It is still a first down.
He'll let you know.
Doesn't he, though? I love it.
He'll let you know.
Yes, sir. So they take it by penalty. It's first down at the 40.
He's like my old high school chemistry professor. Incredibly precise, isn't he?
I tell you, in chemistry, they better be.
You took chemistry?
I had to somewhere along the line. Couldn't get away from it. First down to the 40. Here's Herman Thomas. He picks up 2 to the 38. It'll be second down. Inside 12 minutes to go in the game. The Bills have all 3 of their timeouts. They trail by 4. That was Eric Howard, now playing nose tackle, who made the tackle. Corey Raymond comes into the defensive back spot. Trying to get up and throw the ball, and they're going to rule him down, I think. Yes, he's down, a loss back at the 45. Boy, that might have been an ill-advised attempt when he got rid of the ball.
I think he tripped over Jim Richer, his guard. And Richard's leg got tangled up in Jim Kelly's leg, and that's why it looks so awkward.
Either that or self-tackleization here.
Yeah, he got caught by, I think it was Richard's foot. Self-tackleization.
Back at the 45 now. It'll be third down and 15. Kelly again. And Thomas is a little behind him. And again, Pat, the Bills just can't put it all together.
Yeah, this is a team that is not playing to their level over the last few years. And the question has to be raised, have they lost something? Have they lost some of the edge that got them to the Super Bowl the last 3 years?
Well, you wonder how resilient this team can be, losing 3 straight Super Bowls. Chris Moore, very high. Mega's going to let it hit. It's going to be down by guess who? Tasker. He's always there. He downs it at the 1.
Incredible.
It is incredible. He's got that down to perfection. Remember the game in Dallas? He did the same thing against the Cowboys.
He's also got it down to the 2-yard line. I mean, you do it that often.
And now we have a penalty flags that are thrown after everything has been completed.
Yep. Almost fake going into commercial again there.
Yes, it did, but those flags way after the completion of the play. Right now, it's the 2-yard line is where they have the ball, but let's see if that's going to change.
Number 89 of the kicking team had been out of bounds, came back in, and was the first man to touch the punted ball in the field of play. That is illegal. There's a 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Okay. Is that something? I tell you, Gordon has had more explanations, more unusual plays than we've had in a month of Sundays.
Now, did he get pushed out, though? Yeah, if you get pushed out, you can come back in. I guess you still can't be the first guy to touch the ball, though.
That was the explanation, yeah. Well, Tasker almost pulled it off again. So Moore will get to punt the ball again. And Tasker, don't bet against him not doing the same thing again. This guy just never gets knocked off his feet. If he does, he bounces up so quickly. Make it back at the 10. Moore will try it again. This one's not going to be as successful. It's going to go out of bounds outside the 15. Let's see where they're going to mark it. So the Giants really come away better, as that will be at the 19-yard line.
Tasker had 3 guys on him that time.
The old triple team.
Yeah.
It ends up being a 31-yard punt. The Giants lead it by 4.
It's not just a high-performance tire. It's a Michelin. So it does things ordinary tires just can't do. The XGT series from Michelin.
The Standard, an automobile seat that may transfer bumps from the road and aggravate your back. The higher standard in the all-new Cadillac DeVille is new suspension seating, which acts like a shock absorber for the driver's back, isolating you from bumps to help reduce back pressure and increase circulation, which should leave you more refreshed mile after mile. Suspension seating in the new V8-powered DeVille by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor, the closest, safest, the best shave a man can get.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
You'd be so nice to come home to. You'd be so nice by the fire. You'd be so nice. You'd be paradise to come home.
Introducing Business Saver. Free faxes, movie, fitness center, and free local calls. And most Hiltons proudly offer AT&T long-distance service. Business Saver.
Well, we have had no score since the 4:17 mark of the second quarter. 14-10, the Giants hanging on to that 4-point lead.
And that re-punt really was a big break for the Giants to get the ball on the 19 rather than the 1-yard line.
Lewis Tillman now is in the backfield. Hampton does not return. Jackson goes in motion. Here comes Tillman. And Tillman has been such an excellent special teams player. Carries the ball out to the 23-yard line. Last year he carried the ball only 6 times, and that's his first carry of the season. So Hampton, who's been the workhorse, cannot return, and Tillman, who broke all of Walter Payton's rushing records at Jackson State, is in the ball game.
And where's Walter Payton's number? And primarily a special teams guy, a quick and shifty guy, but I think also if Hampton can't come back, Meggett's also going to have to be a force carry in the backfield.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Misdirection, Tillman is going to get the first down. Diving forward, needed to get just across the 29. Talley and Wright made the stop. And that's 2 very important carries by Tillman as the Giants fighting to hang on here and to keep this drive going. Well, they measure now. They indicate that maybe it is not a first down. They're going to bring the chains in.
This guy was at a heck of a start of his season. You know, now in his 4th year and really emerging as a star of the NFL. But now you see the offensive line doing their job for Lewis Tillman too, Gary. You know, linemen can be as anonymous as telephone operators, but when they're doing their job, they clear the way for guys like Rodney Hampton and now Lewis Tillman.
I know some telephone operators by first name.
You do?
Yeah. It is a first down at the 29-yard line.
You're still trying to save money by going through the operator, aren't you? Those long-distance calls.
From the 29, Tillman on 2 carries gets him out of the 19-yard line area. Tillman again comes up the middle. He's to the 45. Tillman to the midfield stripe. Getting a chance to play and acquitting himself sensationally. That's a 21-yard run by Tillman.
I tell you, that is an incredible burst there by Tillman. You know, Hampton was kind of methodical, but there was a huge hole on the left side. William Roberts cleared the way. John Elliott. And then I tell you, Lewis Tillman just made up his mind immediately and just burst right through the hole for a first down. But there was no hitch in that giddy up.
No,
right?
sir. 3 carries for 31 yards, and there's the 50-yard line. 9:08 to go. Tillman again. Tillman this time caught from behind. Bruce Smith closed down from that defensive end spot, stopped him from getting into that open field again. It'll bring up a second down and 8 yards to go.
As we wind this game down and the Giants are leading by 4 points with 8:45 remaining. The Bills defense has to do a job here, I think, Gary, of at least forcing the field goal attempt. They can't allow themselves to go down by 11 points. You know, the way the Bills offense has struggled, has not scored a touchdown tonight. That would be disastrous. Force a field goal at worst.
On a 2nd and 8, flags everywhere. Disjointed start. Looked like Doug Riesenberg, the right tackle, fired off the mark, or at least moved.
False start before the snap. 72 offense. 5 yards. Still second down.
It was Riesenberg. 5-yard penalty. Hampton has gotten all the work, but Tillman now starting to get on the board.
Yeah, this season, and it is up to date. You know, Meggett has been somewhat a factor in nickel runs tonight. Tillman, it's in his hands. Bunch is out with pneumonia tonight.
Second down, 13 yards to go. Mark Maddox is out of there right now. Inside linebacker, Keith Gugenius is in. And that ball over the middle intended for Sherrard at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, 13 yards to go.
Now, Sims had him. I don't know whether that ball got knocked down by the wind or what, but Sherrard was open on the slant route. And the thing about Mike Sherrard, you see Phil Sims' numbers. The thing about Mike Sherrard is you get the ball anywhere near him, he's got those long arms, he's going to be able to suck it up, and he's pretty good after the catch.
They went after Gogenius, number 50, the linebacker. He was trying to cover Sherrard on that play. 3rd and 13. Three wide receivers. Sims, pocket collapsing, throws far side. It's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Odoms. There was no Giant receiver in the area. As Odoms now running around, and he's going to be tackled inside the 30-yard line. And Sims would like to have that one back.
Well, I mean, obviously you wanted to punt the ball on 4th down. It's not disastrous because it didn't get returned past the 30-yard line, but a punt should have been put inside the 20. I looked like Sims was just trying to get rid of it, just trying to throw it, but he was trying to throw it out of bounds. Again, I don't know whether the wind's knocking the ball down, but that's an easy interception for Nate Odoms, who's had a pretty good night on run defense, and now with the interception.
4th turnover by the Giants, the 3rd interception. And so the Bills now from the 27, 7:47 left in the game and 3 timeouts remaining. The blitz is coming. Armstead, the linebacker, blitzes. They get it off to Thurman Thomas, and Thomas is a couple of yards short of the first down. Carlton Bailey over to make the stop. The Bills have cashed in on takeaways.
Not so much tonight. They have, you know, this year. But the only touchdown was on a turnover.
Thomas straight ahead, and Thomas is going to get the first down out to the 40-yard line.
I mean, it's time for the offense to do their part. The Bills' defense has played well enough, certainly, to win tonight.
And Thomas, who's had some ankle problems, he hurt it last week against Miami, getting up slowly. 7 minutes left in the game. First down at the 40. Hand off to Thomas again. Thomas picking his way and brings it out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 5. Second down 5. Armstead, the 8th-round draft pick, the rookie out of Miami, playing in the place of LT. Number 98 made the stop.
Say what you will about LT and his age and stuff. In crunch time for the last, 13 years, LT has been there to make the kind of plays to force his team to win.
Second and 4. They blitzed Armstead. Thomas shot, stepped away from it, and is very close to another first down. Bailey on another tackle yet, and it will be a first down for Buffalo. Thomas will come out now. Kenneth Davis checks in. He is over 100, so that would mean they'll go 9-0, huh?
Well, they certainly are in position to do so, and if they do win this game, I think they're really going to thank their defense and Thurman Thomas.
23 carries, 109 yards for Thomas. Kelly changing the play. Double pumping. And to Reed inside the 30, first down at the 28.
Audible by Jim Kelly. He read the blitz, he pumped fake, and one of the few vertical passes the Bills have thrown this evening, Gary. Everything has been horizontal. They finally went downfield, and they come up with a big play on the audible to Andre Reed.
First down, they mark it at the 29. 5:22 left in the game. 14-10, New York. Davis doesn't go very far. Mike Fox, who's as strong as a bull in the estimations of the Giant coaching staff, knocked him down there. A gain on a play of 2. It'll bring up second down and 8. Second round draft pick out of West Virginia, trying to find some new wrinkle, some new insight.
A little more technology.
Hand off again to Davis. They get inside the 25. He runs into Bailey. Bailey tonight has made a lot of tackles against his former teammates. Going to mark it on a 3rd and 4.
Carlton Bailey, number 54, playing inside linebacker. Always been a guy with some very good speed and mobility, and when he gets around you, he doesn't miss many tackles. He'll lock you up, and he'll drag you down.
2 of 11 on 3rd downs on a 3rd and 4. Kelly's got time. The Metzelars, first down, 15-yard line.
Gary, we said it a couple times tonight. Jim Kelly can look awful throughout most of the game and come back and beat you in the 4th quarter because he does not get discouraged. And like Phil Simms hung in the pocket, we've seen him a couple times tonight. Jim Kelly did it right here. He waited and he waited and he waited for Metzelars, and you can only do that when your offensive line is protecting you.
Metzelars, his 5th catch of the night. Thurman Thomas back in the ball game. Here comes Thurman. He got a breather. The ball is stripped. It's loose inside the 10. Thurman, who just checked in, loses the ball. Who's got it? Jim Kelly dragging people out of there. Kelly drags Eric Howard out of the pile.
Eric Howard is a nose tackle, and Jim Kelly wants to be a nose tackle.
I think the Bills have maintained possession. They have it.
Fina.
John Fina, their number 1 draft pick of a year ago out of Arizona, saved it. And the Bills have it. And it's going to be second down and 2 at the 8.5-yard line.
Gary, watch after the fumble. The interesting thing is here's Jim Kelly. We talk about him playing like a nose tackle. And here's one thing. He starts grabbing people and pulling people out.
Looks like a tag match. Second down, a long 2. Thomas trying to get the first down. He's not going to get it. It'll be 3rd down. Clock now 3:09. Again, the Bills have all 3 of their timeouts. They're trailing by 4, 14-10. 3rd down coming up. 3rd down and still 2 yards to go.
Well, ideally, if they score a touchdown, it would put them up by 3 points. They'd like to use as much of that 250 as they can before they score the touchdown. The blitz from the
the shotgun. What's this? No flag, no stoppage.
We thought the
clock was still running. Everybody thought there should have been a flag. Nothing is called. Kelly back over the middle. Touchdown, Buffalo. And so the Bills, who led at one time 10-0, have retaken the lead 16-14 on an 8-yard touchdown pass. Metzelaars last year had 6 touchdown catches, a tight end record for Buffalo. As Christie hits it, there is a penalty flag as Christie makes it, if it holds, 17-14 Buffalo. But a flag has been thrown in the end zone.
Defense. The kick is good. 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So it will be assessed on the kickoff.
Gary, here's what happened. This is the middle linebacker. This is Metzelaars. When the middle linebacker blitz, there's nobody in this area of the field. Metzelaars goes right in there for the touchdown. Made a good read on the blitz. The free safety Guyton has no chance of getting there on time. Now, Mike Fox, number 93, has a chance, but just doesn't have enough get-go to get there to Kelly in time.
And Kelly on that drive was 5 of 5, and you said it very well. He could look very ordinary, but when it needs to get done, he's done it so many times, and here's just further evidence of that. That was a drive of 73 yards, 11 plays, took 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So now the Giants, with 2 timeouts left, down 17-14.
And there's a guy, Phil Simms, who's had more comebacks than Richard Nixon. Do not count this guy out either.
Well, in the second half, Pat, he's only 3 of 10 and has 2 interceptions.
Is he bleeding yet? That's when he starts playing well.
Go down there and punch him.
Once he starts bleeding, look out.
Callaway and make it back deep. 2:27 left in the game. The Bills trying to avert back-to-back losses for the first time since 1986 at home. Kicking off, there'll be no return. And while they set it up at the 20-yard line, that'll give us an opportunity now to take a look at Week 5 in the NFL on tonight's Coors Light scoreboard. 80 yards away is Simms. 2 timeouts remaining. Down by 3.
And if you think about field goal, David Treadwell, career long is 49 yards, so they'd have to get down there, down to the Buffalo 30.
Or they could bring D'Aloiso in.
Well,
he has a little stronger leg.
That's true. Right now, they're thinking about touchdown and winning the game.
Sims to Tillman. Tillman across the 25. First down, and Lewis Tillman, hits hard. He tripped over, it looked like maybe some of the cables on the near side. 14-yard run, and Tillman has been nothing short of spectacular since coming in and replacing Rodney Hampton.
Yeah, he has given them a burst. Now, Rodney Hampton's had a heck of a year, but he looks a bit more methodical, and Tillman has a different pace to him. I think the Bills' defense was kind of surprised by the burst of Tillman so far.
First down at the 34. Simms, Bruce Smith coming from the backside, gets it off instead to Callaway. Callaway will pick up 7 yards on the play, knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And I tell you, Bruce Smith is coming so close to getting to Phil Simms.
But you know what Simms is doing, though, which is making it difficult on Bruce Smith? When he steps up into the pocket, Bruce Smith has the wrong angle to sack him. And if Bruce Smith's going to get to him, he's going to have to either take an inside rush or take a different angle.
2:10. They can get at least one more playoff before the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 3. Tillman trying to get outside, changes directions, trying to get the first down. He needed to get just about to the 45-yard line, and we have the 2-minute warning. Tillman stopped that time by Jeff Wright. When we come back, 17-14, the Bills, and Sims trying to pull it out.
You know, there's one thing that most sporting events have in common. When you see this R, the player's wearing a Russell Athletic NFL Pro Line jersey.
Hi, Warren. Hey, Joe.
Russell Athletic is also the official uniform supplier of Major League Baseball. They even outfit most major college and high school teams. In fact, Russell Athletic even makes rink sweats and tees for the rest of us. Unfortunately, not everybody's gotten to work.
Russell Athletic. It's everything we make that makes our sweats and tees so great.
This is $20,000. This is also $20,000. You'd take care of this, wouldn't you?
You should take care of your car just as carefully, which is why you should bring your car to Jiffy Lube and ask for Pennzoil.
Your car is worth thousands of dollars. Give it the quality of Pennzoil and the experience of Jiffy Lube.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change.
Coca-Cola presents Monsters of the Gridiron.
Isn't that Randall Cunningham? Not for long.
Play Coca-Cola's Monsters of the Gridiron. Grab a specially marked Coke, call the toll-free Sprint Monster line, punch in the Monster code, and turn an NFL player into a monster.
Rocket Man?
Call and your monster will tell you if you won Super Bowl tickets, NFL merchandise, and Coca-Cola products.
That's Craig Hayward. Give me the phone.
The Bills with a 17-14 lead as we come back. The Giants just short of the first down. 3rd and less than a yard to go as we've completed the 2-minute warning. The Giants have 2 timeouts remaining. DeLuiso or Treadwell, who's holding here, could have a shot at tying this game. Now, DeLuiso is 0 for 2 in his career and 50-plus. On the other hand, Treadwell's longest field goal is 49 yards.
Yeah, unusual when they have 2 kickers, but right now, the Giants are thinking touchdown and win the football game. Plenty of time with 2 minutes and 2 tight ends. And remember what makes this Giant team different, Gary, than last year. They're wide receivers.
They need a first down here. 3rd and less than a yard. Rashid and Tillman in the backfield. Pierce comes in motion. Tillman's going to get it. This is where they could use Rodney Hampton, his bull-like ability. He's hurt. And, of course, Jared Bunch is out with pneumonia. And we documented that LT was not in on that last series defensively. They're going without a huddle. First down at the 48. Meggett now is coming to the backfield. Sims stepping up, throwing far sideline, overthrown. The intended receiver was Callaway. Odoms defending on a play, and that stops the clock with 1:31 to go.
I'll tell you, Nate Odoms has had a heck of a night for this Buffalo Bill defense. Number 37 has intercepted the pass. He's played good in short yardage. Remember, down by the goal line, he made a stop, and there he's saving the long pass to Chris Callaway. So Nate Odoms has done just about all you can ask for a DB.
Holiday Inn Stadium show coming up after the ball game. Odoms, who loves the challenge. 2nd and 10. Sims looking the second man. He's got the connection, and then it comes loose. It's going to be ruled incomplete. Sherrard had it for an instant, and it would have been enough for the first down. So to come back, and it'll bring up a 3rd down 10. Pretty good coverage that time by the Bills. Sherrard in midair could not hang on.
Yeah, that's a ball he should have caught because it was well thrown, but it was a pretty good shot. I think it was Thomas Smith, number 28, who gave him the shot, the rookie high draft pick, but that ball should have been caught.
3rd down 10. They need to get to at least the 32 for Treadwell, which would be a 49-yarder. Sims to Sherrard, and again overthrown. Coverage by Thomas Smith, the rookie out of North Carolina.
You know, the wind is definitely a factor, Gary. I mean, it was a factor when we started this football game, and it is gusting right now. In any attempt at a very, very long field goal, you got to be thinking about the wind. They're not really kicking with the wind. There's lots of gusts.
Well, right now they're thinking first down because it's 4th and 10. They've got to get to the 41.
Now Sim's got to tell all those receivers, make sure you run your route at least 11 yards. Don't come up short.
Sims looking desperately, gets it away. It will not be a first down. Gerard, kind of a safety valve. He got it to him. There is a penalty flag, so wait a minute. Sims desperately looking for somebody to get the ball to.
Delay of game before the snap, offense.
Delay of game before the snap. They have another snap. That's a break for the Giants. Otherwise, they would have turned the ball back to Buffalo.
And Dan Reeves is saying stretch it out. I mean, run the route now at 16 yards rather than 11.
So it's 4th and 15, but Sims just fortunate to get another break. Another crack at it. Here we go. Down 15, he's going to be sacked. Bruce Smith got there. He kept after him and got him.
With an assist from Jeff Wright. Because Jeff Wright forced Sims up quickly.
And so the Bills will take a 3-1 record into next week. And we have now only 2 unbeatens in the NFL, that being the Eagles and Saints, who won today.
From the left side, Bruce Smith. But you see, right up the middle first, it's Wright. And it forces him right into Bruce Smith. That has been a good combination, Wright and Smith, tonight on the pass rush. I'll tell you what, Gary, too, to win on an off night, as these Bills did, because their offense didn't play well to that last drive, that's something, too.
Carwell Gardner, who's not been in the ball game at all in the backfield, they give to Thomas. They've gone to their 3 wide receiver, tight end, 1 running back set. And Gardner on this particular play making his first appearance. And loss of a yard on the play to be 2nd and 11. And the Giants not using a timeout. Nope, there they did. So they now have 1 left. Stopping it with 1:07.
Delay of game on the previous spot, repeat first down.
Didn't get the ball snapped, I guess, and there was a delay of game. Same situation that the Giants just had.
So it's a 5-yard step off to the 35. You got to give Smith a lot of credit. He was relentless. He never quit. And the sack at the end, stopping the last gasp effort of the Giants. So it's 1st and 5 now with 1:07 left.
And look at Marv Levy, win or lose, he always looks like he's just had his car stolen.
He may have. How do you know? On a 1st and 5 now. Thurman Thomas, and he's going to get the first down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Less than a minute to go. Next Sunday, we have a change. 7 o'clock, it all begins with a Silverbillet Stadium show. The Broncos and Packers from Lambeau Field. John Elway, Brent Favre, Sterling Sharp, and a timeout now called by the Giants, their final one. Our producer of the NFL on TNT is Peter Lasser. Our director, Lonnie Dale. Dennis Stone, the technical director. Technical manager, Bob McGee. Unit manager, Stephanie Ray Bradley. Scott Cockrell and Joe Vincius, the associate directors. Graphics coordinator, Mark Silverman and Ted Ballard. Shannon Mizell, our stage manager. Tom Delnos, our spotter, and Chuck Gardner, the statistician.
You mean Snacks? Tom Delnos Snacks.
I can't even fly with this guy anymore because I called him that. I'll let you. What did you call him?
They do a great job. Snacks. Oh, Snacks Delnos.
Anyway, at the 29, 49 seconds left. The Bills are going to go to 3-1. The Bills' next game is on a Monday night against Houston. That will be played here. Then they have a bye. The Giants at Washington next week. Then Philadelphia at home. And then Dan Reeves will get his second bye of this year. And so the Bills with that drive when they needed it.
Third and last. 40-second timeout.
Well, the thing, too, that remember Dan Reeves said to us when we opened our broadcast with, if we don't turn the ball over, we're pretty tough to beat. But they turned the ball over tonight 4 times. And we'll go down to a 3-point loss.
3 of those were interceptions. So at the 30-yard line, 40 seconds left. Jim Kelly will be hopefully on the Holiday Inn Stadium show.
He's got his own show here in town.
He does.
I saw him this morning in a pregame show. Bill Sims, boy, he hangs in there tough.
Does he ever? The leadership, the toughness that Dan Reeves wanted. The first decision he made was to make Sims his quarterback. And
he'll be on the stadium show.
Getting ready to go over there. He'll scare Bob Neal away if he goes over like that, won't he?
Those arms are legs coming from his shoulders.
Last snap, the game is over here at Rich Stadium. The Buffalo Bills with a 17-14 win. And Jim Kelly on that drive at the end of 73 yards and 11 plays. It took 5 minutes and 20 seconds, culminated on an 8-yard touchdown pass to Pete Metzelaars. And you just said before that, Pat, Kelly sometimes can look very ordinary, but when he really needs to get it done, he gets it done. And tonight was a good example.
Yeah, y'all had a lot of them. Final score, Buffalo 17. Oh, boy. Giants 14.
So the 2 veterans off the field, the final again. Buffalo 17, the New York Giants 14. We'll be back with a final thought in just a moment.
I'm Steve Tasker. Catch all the Buffalo Bills action on News Channel 7, your hometown team.
And don't forget Bill's scoreboard Saturday at 7:30 on News Channel 7.
Are you ready for some football?
Don't you miss it this time. Are you ready for some football? The Buffalo Bills set out to drill the Houston Oilers again Monday, October 11th.
There's only one place to turn. ABC's Monday Night Football.
Good seats still available. Reserve yours today. Call 649-0015. Get ready for some great football Monday, October 11th.
Followed by Eyewitness News on News Channel 7, your hometown team.
The following broadcast of Eyewitness News is closed captioned for the hearing impaired.
Shots heard around the world blast into the night in Moscow. Good evening, this is Eyewitness News at 11. I'm Jean Hill. We begin our 11-minute look at tonight's top news, weather, and sports with the downgrade of an already bad situation. Topping Eyewitness News, Moscow is in a state of emergency tonight. Boris Yeltsin's government is again challenged. An occupation of that nation's White House has now spread to City Hall. ABC's Mike Lee reports from Moscow.
Several thousand pro-communist protesters rampaged through the streets of Moscow, fighting police along the way. They overwhelmed government guards, broke through barricades, and into the courtyard outside the besieged parliament. Most of the thousands of military police who were supposed to have been Boris Yeltsin's ring of steel around parliament seemed confused about what to do. Some police beat up on protesters. Others fired upon the crowd. But there were so many demonstrators, including those with guns, that most were able to penetrate government defenses. They massed in front of Parliament, where leaders of the renegade lawmakers declared victory. At one point, 100 or so government police walked over to the protesters' side. But most of the military declared itself loyal to Yeltsin. That did not discourage the crowd. Yeltsin's arch-enemies, Ruslan Haspolatov and Alexander Ruskoy, called on them to storm key government installations. Protesters descended upon the Moscow mayor's office and took it over. Later, they stormed the state-run television facility. Russia's main TV channels went off the air. Boris Yeltsin declared a state of emergency, giving the army and the police wide powers to bring an end to the unrest. The crucial question was whether Yeltsin could restore order without the massive bloodshed and the public backlash his opponents were trying to provoke. Mike Lee, ABC News, Moscow.
President Clinton is in California for a town meeting on his health care reform package, but he's also keeping a close eye on the events unfolding in Russia. Earlier today in Washington, Mr. Clinton reaffirmed the U.S. government's support for Russian President Boris Yeltsin.
It is also clear that President Yeltsin bent over backwards to avoid the use of force, to avoid excessive force from the beginning of this. And I still am convinced that the United States must support President Yeltsin and the process of bringing about free and fair elections.
A spokesman for the American Embassy in Moscow says everyone there is okay. The embassy faces the Russian Parliament building. Elsewhere tonight, American forces have come under fire again in Somalia. 2 U.S. helicopters were shot down in Mogadishu today, killing 5 soldiers and injuring at least a dozen others. Earlier, 3 American Marines were killed when their military vehicles struck a mine near that city. A Pentagon spokesman says these are just the latest in a series of unprovoked attacks on American and UN forces. Secretary of Defense Les Aspin says pulling the American forces out of the dangerous region is not as easy as it seems.
The trick of this thing is to be able to withdraw in a way that does not leave the situation such that in 9 months or 18 months, the whole thing, famine, returns.
Well, closer to home, an unidentified man has been killed in a head-on collision on Route 5 in the town of Evans. The driver crashed his car head-on into a tow truck. He was rushed to Lakeshore Hospital, where he died a short time later. The truck operator was taken to the Erie County Medical Center, where he's listed in stable condition. Police at the scene say the deceased apparently lost control of his car while speeding and crossed the double line. Well, in other news tonight, the Buffalo Bills' battle with the Giants have come up a winner, and Jerry Azar is here with a look at what happened in the game tonight. Jerry?
Okay, Gene, tell you this, it wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. If you were watching right here on News Channel 7, you know that. But I'll tell you this, the Bills will take it. A hard-fought game goes to the final minutes with the Bills prevailing over the New York Giants. First quarter for the Bills, they lead 3-0 with the Steve Christie field goal. Giants get cute on 3rd and short, and they pay. The ball is tipped and picked off by Henry Jones, and we saw a lot of this last season. Jones can rumble with that ball. He gets a convoy of teammates to take him 85 yards on the touchdown. The Bills go on top by the score of 10-0. In the second quarter, the Giants get on the board. They're still down 10-0, but from within the 5, Phil Simms under pressure, but stays in there, throws, completes to Chris Callaway. It's a 10-7 ball game. The Giants are close again down by the Bills' goal line. Again, it is 3rd down, and again, they get close to Simms, but he finds Mark Jackson for the touchdown. The Giants take a 14-10 lead at halftime. It stays 14-10, just over 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Following a John Fina fumble recovery, the Bills get a chance. Kelly to Pete Metzelar's 8 yards. Bills retake the lead 17-14 and hold on to win it by that same score, 17-14. We have a lot more coming up with highlights and interviews from Rich Stadium. We'll be back with that right after this. Here's Gene.
Well, Buffalo Bills fans came ready for a fight tonight. The 12th man was in full force, and Helen Teteris is live from Rich Stadium with all the details. Helen?
Well, Gene, tonight it was a matter of pride. There were quite a bit of Giants fans here tonight. Now it's Buffalo's turn to gloat. Fans were hyped up for this rematch, so much so they were dancing to their favorite tune. The Bills make me wanna. Everywhere you looked, there was red, white, and blue. At times, it was hard to tell the fans apart. Some Giants boosters were proud of their spirit. Others kept it hidden. Almost all were vocal.
It's fun being a Giants fan in Buffalo. Ever since that Super Bowl, it's just been a great time.
And while some of those Buffalo foes managed to fill the stands, there was no denying this was Bills country. And when the home team made its first touchdown, no one was complaining about the weather.
And there should be quite a bit of celebrating here as Bills fans finally get that victory win they were looking for. With the live eye at Rich Stadium, Helen Tedros, Eyewitness News. Back to you, Jane.
All right, a big celebration. Thank you, Helen. Well, football wasn't the only thing folks at Rich Stadium were shouting about tonight. Representatives from NYPIRG, the American Cancer Society, and Roswell Park are calling on the Bills administration to get rid of tobacco ads at Rich Stadium.
Message to children that their favorite Bills players endorse and perhaps even use Marlboro cigarettes. And so we're calling on the Bills to boot the Marlboro man out of Rich Stadium and to help sever the link between the tobacco industry and our children.
According to a recent NYPIRG study, tobacco addiction kills 2,000 people in Erie County every year. The Bills administration could not be reached for comment. Well, elsewhere around western New York tonight, the high winds early this evening caught some windsurfers off guard. The surfers say gusts were blowing strong, then they suddenly died down, stranding them on Lake Erie near Hamburg Town Park.
It was very windy today, but the winds shut off, so that's why we got stuck out there, because we didn't have enough wind to get back in.
Well, the Coast Guard was called in to help, but rescuers weren't needed. The men managed to swim back to shore without a problem. Happening around America tonight, an explosion on a British West Indies airline is under investigation tonight. Federal aviation officials say the plane bound for Barbados was forced to return to the Miami airport following a blast in its galley that ripped a hole in the cockpit's firewall. 2 flight attendants were taken to a Miami hospital where their conditions are not known. None of the 85 passengers aboard were injured. Officials do not know what sparked that explosion. Elsewhere around the world tonight, government soldiers in India have sealed off the area devastated by last week's deadly earthquake. The troops set up barricades in an effort to stop looting in the shattered villages. Meanwhile, the search for survivors and victims continues as aid from the West arrives. The quake destroyed thousands of homes and killed an estimated 30,000 people. Now for an update on some stories we brought you earlier on Eyewitness News. A town of Concord man is in critical condition following a single-car accident this morning. Erie County Sheriff's deputies say 21-year-old Leo Smith lost control of his vehicle on Trevitt Road and struck a tree. The jaws of life were used by rescue crews to free Smith from the wreckage. He's hospitalized at the Erie County Medical Center. Deputies say he was not wearing a seatbelt. Well, thousands of Western New Yorkers gathered today for an annual anti-abortion demonstration in Buffalo. The protesters carried signs and stood silently in the form of a human chain along Niagara Falls Boulevard between Main Street and the Rainbow Bridge. The symbolic gesture was part of national life chain observances, which took place in hundreds of cities across the U.S. and Canada.
People just come out to show their support. You know, some people might think, you know, we're not accomplishing anything. But it's a conviction we believe in, and we're not going to stand by and just, you know, be silent.
It's estimated that locally more than 14,000 people took part in today's event. Well, 700 Western New Yorkers took to the pavement in Williamsville today as part of another national event. The nationwide walkathon is dubbed Walktoberfest here at home. The participants walked 8.5 miles to support the Diabetes Association. Locally, over $60,000 was raised to benefit diabetes research. It's time now to take a look at the winning lottery numbers. The Pick 10 numbers are 7, 17, 19, 22, 24, 25, 38, 39, 42, 44, 45, 47, 48, 52, 53, 55, 58, 59, 62, and 71. The daily number 169. The win for number 1293. And those are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Still ahead, does Mother Nature have another chilly day in store? Kevin has the answer and the complete AccuWeather forecast when we come back.
There's a lot of great things about Builder Square, but you know what I like best?
Too busy? We can install.
Help finds you, not the other way around.
Comes in 8 styles.
Computer match any color.
Need any help?
Nah. Builder Square, the warehouse with everything for your house.
Most people already know that a GMC Jimmy comes with features that give it all the strength of a truck and all the ride and comfort of a car.
But what you may not know is that right now, it also features a lease that's never been more comfortable. The all-new Jimmy 24-month lease. Get to know one today at your nearby Western New York GMC truck dealer.
Listen.
Sounds good.
Listen. Sounds real good. Listen to the sounds of a whole other world. Apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Wait till you taste real apples and grated cinnamon together with the whole grain goodness of Cheerios. It's why every O tastes as good as it sounds.
Listen to the sounds of a whole other world. Apple cinnamon Cheerios. Listen.
Don't burn up to several $1,000s on a divorce or bankruptcy just because Attorney General Abrams closes down paralegal services that charge only $250. Call toll-free.
Let's go outside to Kevin for a look at all the details in the weather. Kevin, what does it look like?
Oh, Gene, it's very windy on the outside right now. The high wind warning that we had earlier tonight has been canceled. That's because wind gusts are not expected to reach 50 miles an hour, but still, as you can tell, it's still rather windy on the outside out here, especially it's being garbage day tomorrow in Buffalo. You may want to make sure those cans or bags are secured so they don't fly all over the place. Now, the rain showers we were expecting this evening for the game, they're about 4 hours out to the west, and they're headed our way, and sometime after midnight we're expecting some shower activity to hit the Buffalo area, as well as some cooler temperatures for tomorrow. But take heart, temperatures 80 degrees coming later the next week. I think you're going to like that when we hit the 5-day. Right now on the outside, temperature change, not any at all. From our 6 o'clock reading, it's gone up and down. It's same reading we had at 6, 58 degrees. 37 degrees is the dew point, 45% humidity. Got a falling barometer with low pressure, strong low pressure to our north, and winds again out of the southwest gusting up to 30 miles an hour. We did pick up a trace of precipitation earlier today. Our highest was about 6:15 this evening. Got up to 60 degrees, 40 degrees the early morning low, and there you see the records, 86 and 30 back in 1898 and 1974. To the maps and to the temperatures around western New York, and they are pretty much in the 50s in the northern tier, in the 40s down along the southern tier. Bradford, one of the cool spots, as well as Harnell with 46 degrees in Bath, 57 in Lockport, Akron, and Youngstown, also Niagara Falls, 55 in Orchard Park and Oakfield. Now, what's causing all these gusty winds is we've got a strong ridge of high pressure in the nation's midsection, and again a very strong low pressure system, and nature is just balancing itself out, and all the air here is rushing from the south up towards the northeast, and we're getting these strong gusty winds, and very strong they are. Again, gusts reported up to 40 miles an hour again, and they are expecting to continue through the night tonight. Now, this frontal system has a little bit of moisture with it, and it is approaching western New York. By tomorrow, it'll be passing through the area. We're seeing partly cloudy skies right now. We'll see clouds on the increase, and again, some shower activity during the night tonight and also into the morning hours. And once the frontal system passes on through, we'll reach our high of 60 degrees in the morning hours, and then the temperature will drop from there. So at the bus stop tomorrow morning, look for a temperature of 51 degrees, few showers around, very blustery, and that's going to put the wind chills in the 30s, so do bundle up on the way to work or school tomorrow. For tonight, AccuWeather says look for a low of 50 degrees, again, strong winds and some cloud showers appearing after midnight. Winds out of the southwest, 25 to 35 gusts, as high as 40 miles an hour. For tomorrow, a high of 60 degrees early in the day, strong winds with clouds turning cooler and a few showers still around, and then by tomorrow night that shower activity should come to an end. The wind should die down, partly cloudy skies and 40 degrees. For the next 5 days around western New York, again tomorrow a blustery day, sort of wet, temperatures falling in 60 degrees. 60 on Tuesday with a mix of sun and clouds, and we won't see any showers until Friday. But look at the temperature there on Thursday. A mix of sun and clouds and 80 degrees. A little taste of Indian summer is on the way. Chance of showers again on Friday. Mix of sun and clouds and 78 degrees. Weather words for this evening. Sum it up in one word: blustery. 58 degrees right now. Gene?
All right, come on in out of the wind, Kevin. Well, still ahead, we'll go live to its stadium for post-game interviews, and Jerry will have all the Bills highlights from tonight's game. Eyewitness Sports is next.
When Jonathan made his debut into the Harper family, he arrived without any financial surprises. That's because his mom and dad had their health coverage through Independent Health. And while traditional health insurance companies will sometimes surprise you by disallowing parts of your medical bills, Independent Health doesn't work that way. Because we know you don't like surprises. Independent Health. Quality coverage you can depend on.
Value's got the value.
Now during Super Value Days, Value has their lowest prices of the season on Eastern House carpeting. Carpeting makes a room more comfortable. Do it yourself and save with Eastern House. Value has a color and style for any room in your home. Choose Countryside with its own padded back or Wall Street, just $3.99 a square yard. Value also has Fancy Free sculptured carpet with an extra thick padded back. On sale just $6.99 a square yard. Value Home Centers, always convenient. And of course, the lowest prices guaranteed.
We're hot, we're new, and we're country. We're New Country 107.7 WNUC.
Think about what could happen if you tripped down these steps or fell on a slippery floor. If you or someone you love is seriously hurt, talk to a lawyer who cares. Protect your rights. Call 1-800-888-5288 today. Over the years, Siegel, Kelleher & Kahn has helped hundreds of people like you settle their accident claims. Your first meeting with a Siegel, Kelleher & Kahn attorney is free. Call 1-800-888-5288 today.
It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Grab the gang and head on down to a swinging lobster party at the top of the town. Hey, Tim, how you dip 'em? Red Lobster. How you love 'em? You don't need brass bands. Oh, you'll have fun just using your hands.
New combinations like you've never had before, all at special prices.
Lobster's just the best at Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
The party's over in a few weeks.
So don't miss it. Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
All right, welcome to Bills Sunday, and hopefully most of you watched the game right here, the Bills and the Giants on News Channel 7. John Murphy was there to cover it live. He joins us now for some post-game comments and analysis. John.
Okay, Jerry, thanks very much. And right now, Bills head coach Marv Levy is live at the podium. We'll pick up some of his post-game comments.
The advantage you get of that is you can go fast, and if he gets a feel sometime, even if it's the quote wrong play, he has the feel to make it work. The disadvantage is the coach on the sideline really has the total game plan in front of him, knows what's happening in coverage. He has more information available to him. So it doesn't matter who calls him. It's a matter if you want to go fast, your quarterback calls him. If you want to slow down, you call him from the sideline. Yeah, we won 17-14, had a winning touchdown drive against the best defensive football team in the National League. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled.
Were you equally thrilled, or even more with your defense? I mean, you want to talk about gutty or...
Our defense has played pretty well this year, except last week. They've played pretty well. I think they had an outstanding performance tonight in terms of the fact that we weren't staying on the field a lot with our offense, and they had to go back out there and didn't cave in and didn't sag. So I was very pleased with that aspect of it.
And that's Bills head coach Marv Levy continuing at the podium. But with us now is the guy who caught the game-winning touchdown pass with about 2.5 minutes left, Bills tight end Pete Metzelaars. Tell me about the play, Pete.
It was, a basic play that we run all the time, and I think they were happened to be blitzing on the play and messed up the coverage, which I'm very happy about, and left me wide open.
From what we saw in the replay, it looked like the middle linebacker blitzed and kind of vacated an area.
Yeah, absolutely. The middle linebacker and all the linebackers blitzed, and I don't know if the safety had coverage on me or who had coverage, but they didn't cover me, and boom, bang.
Now I heard you say a moment ago that was a play that was called in the huddle, and Kelly came to the line of scrimmage and almost audibled out of there.
Well, called on the line of scrimmage because
that's right. There is no huddle.
And then he saw their blitz look and started audible, and then went right back to the original play, and boy, am I happy about that.
What about this business of no huddle and the faster-paced offense? We just heard Marv talk about it a little bit. It appears to make a bit of a difference for your offense.
I think we just get more of a flow, more of a ebb for the game or whatever. We get more of a feel and just get rolling. And I think we get on top of people and make it a little harder for them to make adjustments on their defense and stuff when we're working at a faster pace. And I think Jim operates it better at a faster pace. I think he gets a little bit better feel for it. He gets some intuitions. He called one play today that we haven't run in 2 years. And he just told me to run a certain round, although I dropped the ball in the pattern, but it was a play, we hadn't run in a while, and he just had a feeling for it and told me, run this route, and so he'll improvise a little bit when we're in that no huddle, that faster paced tempo, and I think it helps us.
And even though it was an offense that waited until deep in the fourth quarter to score and only scored one touchdown, you just felt like there was a better flow offense?
I think so. Except for the penalties, I think our offense, I think we were performing well. We were gaining yards, we were moving the ball, and, but we just kept killing ourselves, all day long with, penalties, drop passes, you name it, we were doing things like that. And against the best defense in the NFL, you can't do things like that.
Pete, it's funny because it didn't seem like this going in, but now in retrospect, that almost seems like a must-win game. You almost had to have that win, as it turns out.
Well, it was an important game for us, no question. And it had added significance. The Jets lost today and Indianapolis lost today. So, it gives us a chance to get back on top a little bit, get back where we want to be on top of the AFC East. And so we're, thankful we did that.
Pete Metzelaars, thanks very much.
Right, Murph.
Pete Metzelaars came up with a touchdown grab to put the Bills ahead with 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Bills winning this one 17-14. And joining us now is Bills special teamer Steve Tasker. You were about as upset as I've ever seen you, Steve, on a couple of those plays.
Yeah, early in the game, and in fact, like on our second punt, the ball was going out of bounds. The play was about over, and the guy gave me just a little extra shot right in the middle of the back. And I want to know why they didn't call it, because they did see it. And he said at first the ball was dead. And I said, well, what about a dead ball foul? It just went on and on. And basically they said it was, was a no con. The ball was out of play, and they just didn't feel like calling it. It wasn't meant to be a cheap shot. He just gave me a little extra. So
dangerous return guy like Dave Meggett really didn't do a lot of damage today. I guess you have to feel good about that.
Yeah, we do. And you got to give credit to Chris Moore. He had a tough night. The wind, a lot of people realize that the wind moves the punt around once it gets in the air, but the long snaps also get moved around. I think you can attribute that to the fact that he dropped the snap. I think that's a direct effect of the wind, especially down in the end zone like it was. And it's a great effort by him to get that punt off. And I think his effort to get that punt off, it kind of typifies the whole effort of everybody just kind of hanging in and sticking with it and knowing that we're going to get it off and make some plays down the line.
You're part of this Bills offense. You watch this Bills offense and play in the offense during practice. Did it seem to you, even despite the fact that they scored just one touchdown, did it seem like the offense was firing a little bit better today?
Yeah, it did feel. We did feel a little better. It looked a little better. We moved the ball extremely well when we didn't make mistakes ourselves. We, drop ball here, a fumble there, offsides penalties and holding penalties. We kind of killed ourselves. And we felt like even on the sidelines, if we could just get our rhythm, we were going to be able to move the ball on them. And finally, we were able to do that. And even then, when we did that, Don Beebe had to come up with a great fumble recover down close to give us a chance for the touchdown.
Steve, thanks very much.
My pleasure.
Steve Tasker, the Bills special teamer. Right now, let's send it back to the podium. Nate Odoms came up with the interception that allowed the Bills to score that winning drive, and Nate Odoms is at the podium right now.
We played a good ball all the way around defensively, and our special teams, we did a good job. And our offense made plays when they needed to make them.
The interception, Sims, it looked like he clearly did not have a receiver anywhere near where you guys were. Did that come kind of a surprise or pennies from heaven type thing?
Well, I think it was a miscommunication on their part. I think he wanted the receiver to go to the sideline, and the receiver hooked up. I think there was more running a choice route, and they just misread the play. And my first thing was to try to get back there and get up under it, and I was able to get my hands on it and try to get the ball back for the offense.
You were talking a little bit about the last stand on defense you guys had to make after they scored the turned to be the winning touchdown. And I think it seemed like you guys had a certain resolve that, hey, this is where it's going to stop right here.
Yeah, well, defensively, we've been in that situation a lot of times where we have to close the game out, put it on ice for the ball club. And I think before we went on the field, we got together and just did a little bonding. And they said that we weren't going to be the unit to cause us not to win the ball game. So we went out and just tried to play good, solid defense at the end.
Nate Odoms at the podium. We're going to throw it back to Jerry Azar now and come back here to the Bills locker room in a few moments with a couple of more interviews. But right now, back to you in the studio. Jerry?
Okay, John, let's talk about some highlights for this game. This was a comeback week for the Bills, considering what happened last week against Miami. Even though the Giants came in here 3-0, people questioned the caliber of their competition because they'd beaten teams like Tampa Bay and the Rams. The Bills were going to be a different story. Let's take you in the first quarter. Bills leading 3-0. The Giants are driving. They've got a 3rd and 1, but instead of running the ball, they go for the pass. Do we have that tape? Okay, I'll tell you what happened anyway. So when they got 3rd and 1, you figure they're going to give the ball to Rodney Hampton. But no, they put the ball up in the air. It was deflected, intercepted by Henry Jones. He went all the way down. You like our sound effects here? All the way down 85 yards for the touchdown. I think we've got the play here. There's Phil Simms getting ready to throw on 3rd down. There's the tip. It's almost like I said. I must be psychic. Here goes Henry Jones, and that's what you call an escort service, only the legal kind. A lot of guys there blocking 85 yards and the touchdown. The Bills are boss at the end of one quarter, 10-0. Second quarter, the Bills defense making some plays. Jeff Wright, who's been quiet this year, gets through and dumps Phil Simms. But the Giants then, with their defense, Marv Levy said tops in the NFL. They turn up the heat on Jim Kelly. That's LT getting to Jim Kelly. Lawrence Taylor later left with a strained hamstring. But this sets up a punt deep in the end zone for Chris Moore, and he is lucky to get this off. Great effort there by Chris Moore, but you can see where the punt goes. The Giants are going to take over an excellent field position inside the Bills' 35, and they made it work. Phil Simms, 3rd and goal. Chris Callaway, touchdown. That made it 10-7. Now the Bills take over. Jim Kelly at quarterback, goes back to pass, pumps once, lets it go, intercepted. The Giants come up with it. With that ball is number 47, Greg Jackson, and the Giants take over. And we saw this last week, and it just baffles me how somebody can be this wide open. Look at that. Mike Sherrod takes it down, a gain of 24 inside the 5, and from there, Simms at quarterback gets some pressure from the Bills, but finds Mark Jackson, touchdown, 14-10. Giants have the score, have that lead at halftime. Let's go back to Rich Stadium right now. John Murphy standing by, and I bet he's got somebody to interview. John.
Okay, Jerry, thanks very much. And Jim Kelly is at the podium. Let's pick up some of his post-game comments.
I knew what type of blitz they were bringing, and I had one called. As a matter of fact, it was going to go to Thurman. And then I saw the 2 middle backers coming too, and then I changed it and audible to another play.
Can you talk a little bit about that whole last drive and why that seemed to go a lot more smoothly for you?
Oh, real simple. Real simple and easy. We caught the football. We had no penalties. We moved the football. We just killed ourselves every time. Either we get a first down or penalty, drop pass, the one interception. Everybody took turns making their mistakes, and I think one of the main reasons is that we moved our tempo up a little bit, and we were going quick, and I think we weren't used to that, and I think that's some of the reasons we had some of the penalties, because guys weren't used to it. But I'll tell you what, I'm just glad to come out with a win because I see good things happening.
Is that frustrating, Jim, or is it a matter of you know it's going to work if you stop these?
Oh, it's frustrating. Believe me, it's frustrating, especially when you have things coming along and all of a sudden you get, everybody taking turns. But I knew if we, pulled together, I got those guys on the sidelines. I gave them a little, I don't know, pep talk or Castanal, one of the two. But I knew it was just a matter of us staying with it, and I'm just glad that we had enough time to do it. Sometimes time runs out. Like in Miami game, we started moving the ball at the end, but just the time wasn't with us.
Jim, how much were you able to take advantage of Lawrence Taylor being out of the football when you got into it?
Tell you the truth, I didn't even know he was out. I didn't even know he got hurt. That's how much I worry about who's on the field. I mean, he is a force, but that's first I knew he was even out of the game.
Talk about your defense, pretty good performance, kept you guys in the game.
Yeah, they sure did. I think that, field position, we were backed up a couple of times, but that's why we gave offensively, I gave the game ball to Don Beebe for that great fumble recovery. And then Darryl Talley's a defensive captain. He said he'll leave it up to coaches. And then some of the players started saying, I think the defense deserves a game ball, and nobody was saying anything. So I rose to the occasion and said, you guys did keep us in the game. Defense gets a game ball.
How much is the Giants?
Bills quarterback Jim Kelly at the podium. We're going to throw it back to Jerry Azar, take a look at some more of those highlights, and then we'll return here to the Bills locker room. Jerry, back to you.
Okay, John, let's pick it up here. The Bills led 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. They won the first quarter. The Giants won the second quarter. They lead by the score of 14-10 at the half. But I'll tell you this, the time of possession was really something. The Giants had something like 11 minutes more with the ball than the Bills. And this game is still up for grabs as we go to the third quarter. But who would take control of it? Phil Simms goes to pass, and the ball batted. That's why they do tip drills in the NFL. Marcus Patton comes up with the interception, and the Bills are back in business. But it seemed no one could really take control of this game because of mistakes. Here's Jim Kelly giving the ball off there. It's loose on the ground. Fumble recovery. That was Kenneth Davis, recovered by the Giants. I tell you, back and forth it goes. And here's Phil Simms back to pass. Puts it up for grabs, and Nate Odom's there. Picks it off of the Bills. Does anybody want control of this game? It's unbelievable. Here comes a key play, though, when the Bills do take over. Because the Giants still lead this game 14-10. But the Bills put it together, and they're getting close. They give it to Thurman Thomas here in the fourth. And, that ball is on the ground, and there's a mad scramble for it. I heard John Fina got it. Steve Tasker said Don Beebe got it. The main thing is the Bills have it, and it keeps the drive going. So Kelly from the 8-yard line looks, finds Pete Metzelar's 8 yards, touchdown. That put the Bills on top by the score 17-14, but the Giants have a final shot. And after a penalty on them, they got a final play, an extra play you could say, but Bruce Smith snuffed that drive there, sacking Phil Simms. And the Bills hold on and win it 17-14. They're 3-1 on the year, as are the Giants, who with their first loss go to 3-1. All right, highlights from the rest of the AFC East is next when Eyewitness Sports continues. Stay with us.
Your gift with any $32 Eternity for Men purchase at Kaufman's.
We can make it happen, yeah, we can make it happen for you. Let Ellicott Paint and Decorating make it happen for you. When quality counts, you can count on the advice and selection you'll find at Ellicott Paint and Decorating. When you think paint, think Pratt & Lambert first. Ellicott is featuring Pratt & Lambert's Escalade interior wall finish. Made in Buffalo, rated #1. It's the best. With 7 locations, Ellicott can make it happen for you. We can make it happen, yeah, we can make it happen for you.
It's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's the 94 Jeep and Eagle lineup. Drive into the future with special savings on Eagle Vision TSI. Or save up to $1,750 on Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo V8. Get into the affordable Summit family for this. Forward thinkers get great deals on Eagle Talent. It's some of the most advanced thinking on the road, and it's at your Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
This is friction. Metal grinding on metal. Friction can wear your engine down. Friction can shorten its life. This is Pennzoil, the friction-fighting motor oil. Choose Pennzoil. Use Pennzoil, and you'll get quality engine protection in each and every drop. Pennzoil, performance, protection, quality.
Get your Pennzoil, lube, oil, and filter service today at Tunmore Olds Nissan.
I'm going to do some more sports, but before I do that, let's call an audible right now. Go back out live to Ridge Stadium to John Murphy. John, here's the pitch.
Okay, Jerry, nice call. Thank you very much. Thurman Thomas is up at the podium, so right now let's turn it over to the podium where the Bills running back is addressing the meeting.
It looked like Beebe and somebody else, I don't know who, was kind of co-possessed. Did he wrestle it away?
I have no idea. I really couldn't see anything, so well, he did a great job of getting it away from a New York Giant if he did.
It seemed like most of the things that have been hung on before this game on, overcoming turnovers and everything.
Well, you know, that's one thing that we preach around here, that we can't have turnovers. And, you know, for our defense to play the way they played today, we hung in there as a team. We know there was a lot of letdowns that we had offensively, defensively, and the punt that Chris Moore mishandled. So, you know, we can all correct those things. We just stuck together as a team and came out and just played as hard as we can. And at the end, everything fell into place for us. Oh, just got I got hit on a helmet. No big deal.
So was there any frustration on the sidelines? You know, you get a little thing going and there was a penalty or a turnover. Was the offensive club getting a little frustrated on the sidelines?
I think all of us were getting frustrated because we were moving the ball real well, and all of a sudden something bad happened to us. And when you have that, you're going to get frustrated. I'm sure all 11 guys that were out there, including Glenn Parker when he was out there, you know, we were frustrated because against a good football team, a well-disciplined football team like the New York Giants, you can't make mistakes like that. And unfortunately, it didn't hurt us now, but down the road against another quality football team, it might hurt us. So that's things that we have to correct, and because in order to be good in this football league, you have to be mentally prepared and physically prepared.
Did you as a team get a certain sense of redemption from this win, and particularly on that last drive, given all the mistakes everyone has kind of made up and down the line?
Not really. I mean, this is 1993. You know, those guys beat us in 1990. That was 3 years ago. So, you know, it feels good to beat them, but we know there's a different personnel over there. Dan Reeves is the coach. Has to say Bill Parcells. Now they run a lot of different stuff that the Giants didn't run, and I don't think it's a lot of players that were over there from 1990 team when they beat us in Super Bowl 25. But it's great to have a win like this. You know, we're in first now, right now, so you know, we're happy.
Oh, yeah. It's a big deal for us. You know, we don't want to drop down to second, third, or fourth, or anything like that, because we got a good quality football team to where, you know, second is not good for us. You know, we want to be first. We want to try to be the best. Oh, we got a real good record during the regular season against them guys, but it was just that one game where we don't have a good record against them. But, you know, this is something that, you know, we got to correct. You know, they're a good physical football team, and before the game, that's what everybody was talking about. Go out, be physical, and try to dominate this football team. And there's two excellent football teams out there.
That's Bills running back Thurman Thomas at the podium, and with us is Bills guard Jim Richer, and that was a pretty good defensive team you were up against tonight.
Yeah, they sure were. They gave us a lot of trouble, forced us into a lot of penalties today, and but it was good to come away with a win.
Hey, Jim, what difference does it make to you and to the offensive line in general to have Kelly out there calling his own plays and to have a much faster-paced offense?
Well, I think the faster pace helped us today. It might have also incurred some of the penalties, you know, just trying to hurry up and get it done, but you know, I think it's helpful. I think Jim likes calling his own plays, and when he feels good about it, I think everyone feels good about it.
You can sense that he's more comfortable that way to call his own plays?
Well, I think he is. You'll have to ask him about that, but I think he likes doing it.
Yeah. What coming into the game, what kind of a game did you expect, and did you get what you expected in terms of what you were able to do offensively?
Yeah, I think we expected them to be a tough defense to run against, and you know, that's what we got. I would never thought we would have had so many penalties against them, especially me with two offsides penalties. But you know, I think they were pretty much what we expected.
After so many drives that really stalled, now you get the ball back, 7.5 minutes to go, fourth quarter, way back in your own 27-yard line. Did you have a feeling that this might be the drive, that you may be able to punch one in the end zone there?
Well, we needed it to be the drive. You know, the whole day we felt like we could move the ball if we just stopped the penalties, and you know, eventually it worked out for us. We were at the sideline, and we were saying, you know, we can do it. We just have to, you know, stop the penalties, and of course it came together for us.
Other than that last weekend in January, you guys seem to have a great record against the NFC, huh?
Well, so far, yeah. We do well during the season. It's just the postseason that we've had trouble, but we're going to get it right this year.
Jim, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bills guard Jim Richer, our guest. We continue here from the Buffalo Bills locker room, but right now, back to you, Jerry.
Okay, John. You know, once upon a time, there was a four-way tie for first in the AFC East, but that changed today. With the Patriots having a bye and the Dolphins set for tomorrow night with Washington, we check out what happened with the other guys, the Jets and the Colts. First off, the Jets taking on the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. Great start for Boomer Esiason and the Jets offense. And Boomer, who's been really sharp this year, hits tight end Johnny Mitchell for the touchdown. He had 3 touchdown grabs on the day, 21-0 Jets. And then a not meeting to have a play on words, a bad break for the Eagles. Their quarterback, Randall Cunningham, in the pocket, goes down, suffered a fractured left fibula. He is set for surgery, and Randall Cunningham will be out 8 to 10 weeks. He was replaced by Bubby Brister. Bubby Brister took his team on a scoring march, ending with an 11-yard touchdown pass to Calvin Williams, making it 28-21 Jets. The Eagles would then tie and give up a safety. It's 30-28 Jets. They're moving again, but watch this. Esiason's pass is picked off by Eric Allen at the 6, and he goes on an excursion, zigging and zagging, and finally finding some room, and he will scoot the route. Look at him go. 94 yards total, and the Eagles do it without Randall and win again, 35-30. It was a costly loss for the Jets. In Denver, the Broncos taking on the Indianapolis Colts. That's Glenn Milburn for the Broncos going in for the touchdown. This one was over early, 21-0, and then some razzle-dazzle later on. Arthur Marshall to Derek Russell, another touchdown for Denver. They win big, 35-13. So here's your AFC East scoreboard. The Jets lose, they're 2-2. Colts lose, same story there. They fall to 2-2. Here's the National Football League scoreboard. Joe Montana for the Kansas City Chiefs knocked out of this game in the second quarter. They get kind of like a cheap shot out of bounds by one of the Raiders, a strained hamstring, but Kansas City goes on to win over L.A. 24-9. Raghib Ismail had his first NFL touchdown for the Raiders, but it was too late. Dallas gets even at 2-2 with a victory over Green Bay. The Falcons are 0-5. Bears beat them. Tampa Bay, yeah, they did win 27-10 over Detroit. San Francisco rolls over Minnesota. New Orleans still looks tough, very tough. They're 5-0. They knock off the Rams. And don't look now, but the Seahawks are 3-2 with their 31-14 victory over San Diego. Let's talk about some baseball history. A key player on this final day of the regular season in baseball. In the Wild National League West, the Braves and the Giants began the day tied. Now, the Braves played the Colorado Rockies, where history said no team had ever swept the season series from an expansion team. The Braves were 12-0 against the Rockies. And history said the San Francisco Giants had never swept a 4-game series in L.A. against the Dodgers. That's where the Giants had won 3 straight. I'll tell you this, we're going to start off with the Braves, who've been breaking out on top in this series, and do it again. Here in the 4th, it's already 2-0, and it's Ron Gann at the plate. Base hit. It's misplayed in center field. That's going to score 2. Here comes Otis Nixon. Behind him is Jeff Blauser, and the Braves take a 4-0 lead. But the Rockies chip back, run at a time, and here in the 7th, that's Roberto Mejia off Tom Glavine. It's a solo shot to right center field that got him as close as 4-3. But in the bottom of the inning, that is Dave Justice and the big swing, and it's a solo shot, number 40 on the year for Dave. That made it 5-3. The Braves had the lead, so they take that 5-3 lead to the 9th. 2 outs for Colorado, and no comeback for Colorado. Darrell Boston strikes out. The Braves win 5-3. It was then up to the Giants. Let's go to Dodger Stadium, but don't look for any high drama in this one. 3rd inning, L.A. That's Eric Karros, and delivering a double off rookie pitcher Solomon Torres. Dave Hansen comes in to score. L.A. led 2-0, and then they pulled out the long ball. 5th inning, Mike Piazza launches this shot to right center. It is a goner, his 34th. That made it 4-1, bringing joy from his manager and family friend, Tommy Lasorda. Still in the 5th with a man on, that's Corey Snyder off Dave Burba. That made it 6-1 Dodgers, setting off a celebration in Atlanta and L.A. because this one not close. Piazza would homer again, and the Dodgers bury the Giants in their playoff chances, routing them by the score of 12-1. So Atlanta wins. Dodgers win. San Francisco wins 103 games, but they're out of it. It's the Braves and Phillies for the National League Championship Series coming up. And after losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 last night, the Sabres season ends, their preseason ends at 1-6. Waiver draft day today, nothing to report. The Sabres begin it for real. It counts for real Thursday night in Boston. And speaking of real, let's go back to Rich Stadium now. John Murphy standing by with more report tonight from Bills' victory.
That's right, Jerry, and the locker room is real empty now. The Bills making their way to the exits. A couple of notes from this game. James Williams, the Bills starting quarterback, with a knee sprain. Marv Levy said he doesn't know how serious that'll be. We should know more about that tomorrow. That takes care of the injury report. Bills had 4 takeaways today, and of course one of them was a huge play, the 85-yard interception return for a touchdown by James Williams, but 3 other takeaways, a couple of interceptions, of course Nate Odom's big interception, and some fumble recoveries. As far as stats, Thurman Thomas ran for 122 yards on the ground, averaged 4.7 yards per carry, which is, I guess, indicative of a slight rejuvenation of the Buffalo offense. Kelly's numbers, he was 14 of 25 for 142 yards, and on the negative side, Kelly was sacked 5 times. So the Bills, not unlike the Dallas win a couple of weeks ago, were able to gut out another win here tonight. And
under wraps. And I'm Keith Ranford. ABC's Nightline is up next. That's it for the night. Have a good night.
He came to the Motor City to tune up his message and to steer the debate.
We're going to be much more aggressive than American governments have been in the past. As soon as I get this budget and this investment plan, this jobs program sent up to the Congress, I believe I got elected on a commitment to change America.
Tonight, Bill Clinton goes on the road again for his first